What's the first thing women notice? Your face. That's why you got to take care of. Simple things like getting a haircut, grooming your face, and brushing your teeth is important. But there's one thing guys miss and that women always notice. It's when a guy isn't taking care of his skin. That's why I'm so excited to have T. Shanley as a sponsor of today's video. T. Shanley simplifies the process of taking care of your skin. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing you don't. Seriously, I don't think some of you believe me when I tell you how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve your confidence in all aspects of your life. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: daily face wash, exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with an SPF 20 and a PM moisturizer. But and to make it dead simple for you guys, they provide an instruction card in every box that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. But because T just sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description and get 40% off your first skincare system and free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll get 20% off for life. By the way, one of their new gift options is a silicone body scrubber, which is a $20 value and a complete game changer. Once you use this, you'll never go back to a regular loofah ever again. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to start your skincare journey. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome. Let me go and introduce the crew. We got Mr. Hank, Aisha, Viz, Pal Jones, Ashley, Brittany, Gold, Luis, Ty, Ari, me, myself, PJ out. What's going on, fam? What's going on? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
What up?
Oh, wonderful, man. Good to see you guys. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic Wednesday. We got two more
Still
days.
surviving the Trump regime so far. It's too early. First quarter's not over.
Oh, you said first quarter not over?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. All right, let's go ahead and any Trump fans in the house? Say yeah.
What's Trump?
Okay. All right, it's not a political show, man. I don't want to create a divide, man. So we're gonna go ahead and just keep it smooth on over. Anyhow, good to see you guys, man. Welcome. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That helps to get the stream out. And if you are catching the replay, make sure you hit the like button as well. Shout out to the sponsor, T. Shanley, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men, 40% off along with a free gift. And you get 20% off for life if you click the link that's in the description. This is for men's skincare, so make sure you guys.
You're on mute.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, unfortunately, we still can't hear you, JR.
We got you. You can fuck the way I have a filibuster just a little bit. I know that's right. So, how you ladies doing? Y'all good tonight?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. Well, Brittany, where you been at? You been hiding from us?
Man, just busy. I wasn't hiding from y'all. Thank you. The year of 40, I have to do something different since I'll be 40.
Yeah, she took them extensions and wigs off. She don't know how to act no more.
First of all, sir.
Brittany's been out chasing the Lord.
I didn't mean to put you out there. My bad, Brittany. My bad.
Not tonight.
Brittany said the choice for me is wig free. I know that's right.
Not wig free. And you know what's so funny, Hank? Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all. I have this thing. I'll be online, and you know how the wig ads will go like in your social media news feed and all of that. It gets me every time. Like, I am infamous for buying wigs and never wearing them. And you know them wigs ain't cheap. Like, I don't know what it is, because once I get it and I'm like, it don't feel right. Like it's not me or something. But online, it gets me like, oh, that's so cute. Like, I got a wig sitting in a box right now. Aisha, I think I told you that when I talked to you. Brand new wig sitting in the box. So,
well, Brittany, I'll come get any one of your wigs. I am always up for a different hairstyle.
Yeah,
like for a different look. Why not? You need to wear your wigs though. I'm spending that money.
2025.
I'm telling you, I got like 3 wigs I haven't worn over like a period of time.
That is
I gotta stop.
Hank, don't do that. First of all, okay, wigs have been a thing for centuries. All right. We just now decided to like fully capitalize off of it. And why not change up your look every now and again? There's nothing wrong with that.
God damn. This is crazy.
I don't know why.
Speaking of weird, Ashley, how you doing?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Well, Ashley look like she mad at the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. It'll be all right, man. Whatever happened today, it ain't worth it.
I'm not mad.
She mad at the internet. Okay.
I can't see like the mute and unmute buttons.
Yeah, we still can't hear you.
Yes, it's still no sound. How you
still
doing,
got that
Charles?
smoke detector going crazy? Yep. There you go.
Since last
I'll go leave her alone with her smoke detector.
We can't hear her, but we can hear that. We can hear that damn smoke detector.
Oh man.
Lord help us. Lord Jesus. We're gonna get it together. We're gonna get it. What's up, Cloud? Brother Lou, Brother Viz, you good?
Yes, sir.
What up? What up?
What about now? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
My bad, man. Every time I disconnect this computer, man, and bring it back, it's always trial by error.
Oh, Clout then got the little Jerry curls in his hair. Okay, I see him.
Not the Jerry curls.
Damn.
Hey, Cloud, you switch your wig up too, ain't you?
That's a good one. Yeah, y'all funny, man. And I was going to get this show started, man. You good, Ari? Okay. All right, so we're going to talk about she wants $3 million a year in alimony. Insane prenup demands. This is Chad Ochocinco. Are you guys familiar with him? Everybody familiar with him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ashley, you? Okay. So I'm going to read this, man. I got a clip that I'm going to play. So let me go ahead and get this situated back again. Here we go. All right. So it's insane. Let me just start off by asking you guys this. I'm going to just go around the panel. Are you for prenups now or are you against it? Go ahead, Hank.
Damn. I mean, as far as Chad's situation, yeah. I'm if I'm a man of his stance, yeah, I would be.
I ain't asking about Chad. I'm talking about you. Just in general.
God damn, brother. No, I'm not.
Okay. You know why? Just briefly, just why? Just 1 minute. Just explain to the people why you against prenups.
The reason I guess because I don't believe in setting myself up for failure, and when you do something like that, you already going in with 1 foot out. You know, it's like I think what some of the ladies was a champion for at one time, a rainy day fund, and things don't go the way they want them to go. They be ready to get the hell on. It's no different to me. So that's the reason why.
All right, Miss Brittany Gold. You for prenup or against it, and why?
I'm for it.
What up, bro?
I'm for it because I'm sorry, it was some feedback. Did somebody say something? No. Okay.
Nah, you might have
I'm
a
for it
delay.
because I feel like once you, oh shoot. Yeah, definitely, because your response was delayed just now. Anyway, can y'all hear me okay? Am I flowing okay? Okay. I'm for it because I feel like marriage is about it's about companionship and all of that, but it's also a partnership. And if you work to build a certain life for yourself, or you have a certain amount of assets, if that person decides to go haywire and you got to exit, jump ship, because there are times when you're going to have to exit and jump ship. I don't want the ship to go down. I don't want the money, the assets to go with it. You know what I mean? Like, imagine working hard and building a certain level of assets for yourself, and then all of that is just at risk because somebody else wants to act the damn fool. No, thank you.
Period.
Prenup.
JR, after hearing Brittany, can I change my answer? Can I change my answer, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just bullshit.
Go ahead, Ty. Are you for prenups or against it, and why?
So I actually agree with Hank. I am against prenups because I have the same mindset. I feel like if you are already preparing for a divorce before you start, then you are already setting yourself up for failure. And that just doesn't make sense to me. I do understand Brittany's point. If you're dealing with someone who is substantially higher than you and you're marrying into that, I will understand why they would want a prenup. But overall, I feel like marriage is supposed to be a lifelong commitment, right? So if we sink together. You can actually sink while still being in the marriage. It doesn't have to go to a divorce. Someone could spend all of your money while they're with you. So I don't really agree with the prenup idea.
Okay. I'm gonna answer my own questions. It's situational for me. I do think that there are some women's mindset where you need to get a prenup. And then I believe that there are some people that do hold a traditional mindset. And I think you can probably take the risk and you can do it the old school way. But this new age of people and their mindsets, it's crazy out here. And you have to kind of protect yourself. But then I guess you can probably say, why marry them, right?
I was just about to ask you that. Why
Yeah.
would you marry someone with that mindset? That's the thing, because you're going to see that beforehand. Now, of course, people can hold masks, but you're going to see some of those qualities before you decide to marry that person. So if they're already showing that they are superficial or materialistic and that's what they go after, why would you decide to marry them? That's the risk you're deciding to take.
I don't know about that, man. It's like you ride a bike, you put on a helmet. You get in the car, you put on a seatbelt. You buy a car, you insure it.
Oh no, I was finished. I mean, I think you make some good points. It's one of those things that I'm with you, Hank. I feel what you're saying as far as 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But after seeing what's out here, it's kind of like I can understand why somebody may want to get a prenup. But that's why you probably have to vet a little bit better and try your best to recognize the red flags and don't even put yourself in a situation where you have to be questioning it. I do believe there are some good women out there. It's rare. I believe there's some good men out there too, but it's rare. So I just think it's come down to how good that you are at vetting and you taking a high percentage on that gamble. But go ahead, Cloud.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, when you get life insurance, it's not because you plan on having an untimely death. When you get health insurance, it's not because you plan on getting injured. Essentially, it's marriage insurance. That's literally what a prenup is. It's marriage insurance. And sure, ideally, a marriage doesn't end, and ideally, marriages are forever. And yeah, of course, that we would all love that. But we live in a world where the marriage divorce rate is damn near 50%. So there's a 50-50 chance your marriage will end, regardless of how much you love the person, no matter how much you care. There is a 1 in 2 chance that it will not work. So why not insure it? On top of that, I think it should incentivize a better relationship, because if we're really in it not for the money, then what difference does it make if we have a prenup anyway, if we're really in it for the right reasons? You know, if we have no plan on getting divorced, then who cares if we have a prenup, right? You don't plan on divorcing me anyway, so why not sign something that says if you divorce, you walk away with what you came with? I don't see a problem in that.
Okay. All right, let's go to Aisha and then Luis, and we'll continue down. Go ahead, Aisha. Are you for prenups or against it, and why?
I'm against prenups. I think that it can be situational because, you know, people that really have a lot to lose, you're talking about your multimillionaires and billionaires. But us regular people, what are we prenuping against? Like, I just don't feel like, I feel like that's another one of those things or ideas that has been inflated, and it really doesn't fit in our circles. From a moral standpoint, I feel like you just have to know who you with. And I feel like when you go into a marriage, you go in willing to lose it all for that person. Like, you're literally saying, I pledge my life, I will die for you to the end of time. But I'm gonna have to sign a paper just in case. It's very contradictory for me. So in a nutshell, I'm just not with the prenup. I guess I'm old school.
All right, Luis, it's on you,
Now,
brother.
Aisha, when I'm with you, I'm with you. But where they say we got to die for our spouse, where does it say that?
Is that to death do us part?
To death.
Like you said, at the end, to
Y'all,
the
wow,
end.
that
That's literally what's in the vows.
Hey, Brittany, don't start your shit already, man.
And this man on
With
And Brittany got her parachute ready too. She got her
Brittany,
parachute
it's men
ready.
on this panel right now that is willing to die for their wife. I promise you, it's not a man on this panel that if their wife was finna die or they could save their wife's life and it was gonna take their own, I guarantee you, every one of these men is going to die for their wife. So it's to the end for sure.
All right, let's simmer down, y'all. Let's go ahead and continue. Go ahead, Luis.
I mean, I hear everybody's perspective and I understand where everybody's coming from. And I think that it is a upbringing perspective that comes into play, and especially how you're cultured and how you're raised. I would say this: we do live in untraditional times, and I think we are very far from center. I look at prenups this way. I necessarily don't believe in them, but the reality is that I think everybody should have a prenup. From the standpoint of prenups hold people accountable to the things that they're supposed to do, right? Because unfortunately, this is the reality. People do whatever they want, whenever they feel like it, and whatever. When we set rules in place and we set certain things in our relationships, in our jobs, in our friendships, whatever boundaries, things go well because we understand where the line is at. We understand where the boundaries are at, and we understand the consequences if we color outside of them. When you lay things out very strategically, people understand the dynamic of the relationship. The reality is that a lot of people are kind of going with the flow and shooting from the hip, and they'll forgive me. Oh, it wasn't this and that, and it's like, okay, no, you have a prenup, not necessarily for the financial aspect, although that does come into play. But let's be honest with you, a lot of people out here are not balling out of control. Like, we're regular people who have good jobs, good credit, you know what I'm saying, a house, a car, etc. We're stable, right? Nobody's living under a bridge. However, we have vested in ourselves and in our future to ensure that we keep on investing on those things, and that the people that we are investing in us, and they're not about to take the car and drive it off a cliff, right? It's about responsibility. We're in a time and point in our society where responsibility and duty, my God, that word has since left our lexicon. Duty is no longer dutiful. And so to ensure that people, do what they have to do and are accountable within their relationship and marriage, you have to lay certain things out. because if not, you wouldn't have the 50% divorce rate that Clout just talked about. Not everybody is marrying under the same premise. Some are marrying under a religious covenant, and I understand that. I think that's beautiful. Others are not. Others are just saying YOLO. There you go.
All right, we're gonna go to Ari, Viz, and then Ashley. Go ahead, Ari.
I think you all make good points. I think it depends on the couple. It depends on, whether there is a wealth gap.
We can't
whether
hear
there
you.
is. Oh,
We can hear.
I could hear her.
you can hear me?
I can hear.
Yeah,
Oh damn!
Okay.
No, I can't hear.
Sorry.
it's all right too, Viz.
No, I couldn't hear
But
it.
no, I think
Sound like a Viz problem.
it's like
I guess
super.
it's me problem too. Then I couldn't hear it.
Shit,
Okay, can you guys hear her now? Go ahead, Ari. Just
you
do
hear
a
me?
test.
Testing. That's so weird.
no.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
can
hear
hear.
her. I can't hear her either.
Should I
It don't seem like a Viz problem.
should I exit, come back in?
I know that's
Someone
right,
else
big
to
dog.
go?
I mean, I hear her. That is
That's so
odd.
weird.
I hear her loud and clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, just go back out and come back in, Ari.
All right.
And that's just hit the refresh button. Everybody, the audience, can y'all hear? Okay, everybody.
Yeah, I don't
Yes,
know.
I can hear you, JR.
So it must be. You can't hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It must be a StreamYard thing. Sometimes it tweaks, man. You can't expect everything to be perfect on here, man. As crazy as it is.
That's
Is it
for
re-
sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, there you go. I can hear you now.
You okay? Okay. Is it my turn? It's my turn.
Jump in.
No, I think it's dependent on the couple. It's dependent on like what the wealth gap is between the couple. It's dependent on, does somebody own a company and somebody doesn't? Does somebody have a retirement or a savings account? Somebody doesn't. Like that matters, and I think that's a conversation to have between the two people. So I hear what everybody is saying, and I kind of understand it from both sides. I was married for 10 years, and I did not have a prenup. And I was lucky enough that we agreed on everything at the end there. So we didn't even have to hire lawyers. We just filed the paperwork that we had, which like we had it drawn up by a lawyer, but it was like $300 for the divorce, other than the court fees. But I think the reason that I would recommend doing it is because if you cannot agree, like say, your marriage does end. If you can't agree at the end there, the court decides. And I don't know about you, but I don't trust the court to decide what, you know what I mean? Like who gets what and who does what. So to me, it is that insurance policy, but also you both are probably a little bit more clear-headed now than you would be if somebody cheated and you're getting a divorce. And so while you're clear-headed, you're making this plan and you're taking that power away from the court and you're saying, no, if we get a divorce, this is exactly what's going to happen. And that's why I would say get it.
Okay. I like those perspectives. Go ahead, Viz, then we'll go to Ashley.
Yeah, so me and my fiance, we've talked about it. When I was younger, I was definitely against it. But after speaking, we're coming into it with a blended family. Like Aria pointed out, we both have our own businesses that was established before we met. So just to have everything clear, and with us both understanding business, there's no fear of us walking into it as if we're going to divorce. But with me being exposed to working in the funeral industry as well, I've seen a lot of things just get sticky once death comes into place, be it with family members and kids and all the other stuff. So just to have everything written out in black and white, everybody is covered, and it's right there in the beginning. So I think that, like everyone pretty much said, it kind of depends on the couple and where they are and what works for them. So that's why I'll be doing it.
Viz, you know what's so interesting too? Everybody goes down, everybody lawyers up and is down there fighting tooth and nail for dollars, property, and stuff like that. But you know what they're not fighting for? They're not fighting for the 15 years of love that they gave. They're not fighting for 15 years of their love back. They're not fighting for that. Right? So that just disappears. That is like null and void.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Ashley. Are you for prenups or against it, and why?
I'm for it. Yeah, my first time being married, we didn't do it, and while we were getting separated, it was a lot of like back and forth about who gets what. You know, we had joint bank accounts, so it's hard to kind of try to have a rational conversation with somebody who's hurt, you know, and if a person is trying to, you know, they're hurt and they want to hurt you back, it's just like, oh yeah, well, this is mine, you can't get this, or they're gonna, you know, sometimes people just do things out of hurt to kind of make your life a little bit difficult. So this time around, you know, I got a lot of things that's popping off for me. Now, you know, I plan on being the first multi-millionaire you know, person in my family. So I need to protect myself, you know.
Period.
And I rather be prepared than to kind of go down that. I'd rather be prepared than to go through that again, where I have to try to kiss somebody's ass to get my money, you know, just because we're sharing joint accounts or we have children together, and then we trying to come both being petty to each other. So I'd rather have that in place just in case, just to protect myself.
Okay.
So I have a question.
Hold on, real quick. Was she breaking up to you guys or just me? Okay. Yeah, you was kind of breaking up a little bit, and it was kind of spotty there, Ash. Are you using your computer or your phone?
You can hear me? I'm on my computer.
Yeah, that computer.
Should I use my phone?
Yes, always use your phone.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
Right. So hold on. I'm gonna come off and come back on then.
Okay, man. Thank you.
JR, you sure it wasn't her smoke detector that would make you think she was breaking up, but she was fine? It's just that thing kept going off on us. Is that what? I mean, I don't know.
Nah, I mean, I heard her fine all the way to the end. I don't know about any of you.
Yeah, it was kind of coming in a little spotty.
Break up, I tell you, shit. The smoke detector was consistent.
Go ahead, Luis.
So I had a question. So this is the part that sometimes behooves me. When people meet each other at a certain point in their life, whether they're young or they're just starting off life, whether they just got out of school, they just got that nice, you know, paying job, etc., they're usually equally yoked at some level in terms of their education, their background. They share a lot of similarities. Financial gap might be small, it's not huge or significant, but it's close. And sort of they come together, they get married and build this life. They put in 10, 12, 15 years. They might have a kid or two, etc. At that point, why is anybody even talking about prenup? You both didn't have shit to begin with. You didn't have shit by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You didn't inherit anything by yourself. You came together, you got married, and you built the life together. You got a house, a vacation house, some property, some cars, etc. At the end of the day, if you're divorcing at that point, then you should amicably split everything and come to some sort of concessions about who keeps what and what is in the best benefit in order for certain things to be passed down as assets to your children, right? And then sort of estate planning should be a conversation at that point, or at least somewhere in that run of that marriage or relationship. At that point, we're splitting everything down the middle, because if I didn't have shit and she didn't have shit and we got it together, she's entitled to half of everything. I don't like at that point it's different. And so the people are worrying about, you know, having this like multi-million-dollar portfolio. A lot of people don't have that. And nobody's really coming to the relationship like that. Most people are building it together. That's how most wealth is built.
to that point, like my marriage started, he was on the Geek Squad at Best Buy and I was working as a bartender. And with that one, I did not get a prenup, and I don't feel like we needed it because yes, you built it as a family, you're a unit. Now I do have children, I have a home, I have, you know, stuff that I'm coming into it with. If I were to get remarried, I would do it at this point. That's why I say it's like very individual for people.
Yeah,
Not
but
to
most
mention your
prenups
retirement
are
account.
covered on the premarital assets. So anything after you're married, y'all gonna have to split up regardless. So if I come into my, you know, my own when I turn 35 and we're married, we're 10 years in, she's gonna be entitled to all of that regardless. Now, you know, what I got before our marriage, I'm gonna get to hold on to. But most prenups, that's what you have to deal with. So, like you saying, Luis, most people don't come into later on, and we build more faster when we're together. Because when I was individual, I wasn't able to do certain things. Financially, I wasn't able to do it. Emotionally, I maybe wasn't all the way there just yet. So, you know, that's my biggest hang up on the prenup thing. I mean, I understand why people get it. Like I said, multi-million-dollar people and people with a lot of business like it. I understand that. But the average person, yeah, that don't make sense to me. And I think Viz, with the example you gave, sound like a living will would cover what you're talking about. If you're worried about assets between, say, the kids and all that, I know what you're talking, because me and my wife has to deal with that. We don't, you know, you don't want. I've seen how things happen when loved ones deceased and people are supposed to inherit this one, and then you got to go to probate court. I've seen that go through, dealt with that, had to get lawyers and all of that involved in situations. I would definitely encourage a living will for situations like what the example Viz gave. But yeah, for the most part, I don't understand the biggest hang up on it, but maybe I can learn something while I'm listening tonight.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and I'm trying to wait on Ash to come back so she'll miss it, but I'll go ahead and get it started, man. We did have one super chat came in. Big Ant $11 says it's getting to the point where you need a prenup just to say hi to a mother. Nah. I want to thank you for your contribution, man. If you haven't already hit that like button, also make sure you subscribe to the channel. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into this story. She wants $3 million a year in alimony, insane prenup demands. This is Chad Ochocinco. So just a little bit of history real quick. Chad Johnson, popularly known as Ochocinco, is always trending over the internet. Even after his retirement from his NFL career, he met his ex-fiancée, Sherelle Rosado, on Instagram and dated 4 years. However, they ended the relationship soon after. The engagement. Reported claims about the prenup sparked mixed reactions among fans. So let me just see if I believe I might have saved this picture just so you guys can see who they are. And here we go, right here. So that's Ochocinco, and that is Sherelle right there. And that is her ring that he got for her. Moving on, Ochocinco had met Sherelle Rosado, an ex-Army official and CEO of a real estate business, on Instagram. After years of dating and a child in 2022, the couple decided to get married. Rosado had demanded some extravagant resources as a part of a prenuptial agreement, which included $3 million a year and part of the podcast. In this video about to play, Ochocinco ex-fiancée and her lawyer proposed a lump sum alimony to be paid up front. He was expected $3 million USD on every wedding anniversary. Ochocinco and his lawyer had countered the demand, proposing $15,000 a month. However, due to lack of common grounds, his lawyer suggested waiving both $3 million and the $15K proposals altogether. So we'll go ahead and play this clip, man. This is somebody that's reacting to it, and we'll go ahead and get into it.
And listen, I don't blame Chad if he don't want to get married after this because Sherelle lost her top with this. So in this episode, they sat down with their attorneys to talk about their prenuptial agreement. And Sherelle, she want $3 million a year for him to pay in alimony.
First is trying to contract to lump sum alimony up front. Yeah.
How much are we talking about here?
Well, Sherelle is proposing $3 million a year.
$3 million a year?
That you will pay on your wedding anniversary every year.
So then he countered for $15K a month.
I don't like that. And we would definitely have to counter.
So what is the alimony number you're proposing?
In my opinion, with your lifestyle, we're looking at $15,000.
A month?
A month?
Absolutely, not a year.
And the crazy thing is, at times, Sherelle makes more money than Chad, but Chad didn't go to the millions. He said he wanted $15K a month, which is like, what, $180 a year. That's less than 6% of what she was asking for. But Chad said, you know what? We leave what we came here with. So the alimony was waived. And you would think the conversation would be over with, but nope. Sherelle says she wants 25% of his podcast with Shannon Sharp.
Now, that's not fair about the podcast, man. That's all him.
A certain asset that might be highly contentious for you, which is your podcast.
That's non-negotiable. The podcast is not going to be touched. The podcast is something that he's grown on his own with his business partners.
And I'm part of the business partner.
But it's Chad's podcast.
You are not contractually signed to us at all.
Then Chad was like, okay, then I want 25% of your business.
The client wants a percentage of your business.
No, that's definitely not what can happen.
Why not?
The business was there before we got together.
So I didn't help at all with your business?
No, you helped
I didn't help at
after.
all?
You didn't help create it. No, you did not.
We're not getting married if it's 1%, and I'll speak for Sherelle on that.
That's fucking ridiculous. 1%.
Well, it sounds like that might push back your wedding date.
But wait, there's more. There's an infidelity clause.
Issue we haven't brought up, and I think it's an infidelity clause. It's standard in prenups. So if you were to cheat, it'd be $500,000 penalty to you.
This makes no sense.
Why?
Because this basically tells me she's really not ready to get married. She's not ready to get married.
Now we know the real reason why Chad ain't gonna agree to that, because he know he gonna slip up. But I do think it should go both ways. I do agree with that, but it should go both ways. But I want to hear from y'all. Who y'all think was wrong? Who's right? Do y'all?
She wants that man's soul.
Yeah, man. Like, she just wants to drain him. I mean, let's be honest. Look, she got money. He has money. Obviously, one has more money than the other, but they're well into the 1% of people. If we're going to keep it a buck, they're in the 1% of people. At this point, what she essentially wants is her pound of flesh. Let's be very clear, and when you get into that kind of situation, negotiating for how the relationship dynamic is in terms of like a infidelity clause, if you know you're not the type of man to keep your shit in your pants, bro, you have no business. You have no business not trying to sign prenup and put things in place, because like you're just too weak for it. I think the last point I would say is that if you can't already have these things ironed out, talked about prior to having your lawyers come to the table, then that means you guys haven't fully vetted and have every conversation. Those are just the important conversations that they care about. Wait until the stuff that they haven't talked about reveals and comes to the surface. How you?
So they're not married yet? This is just the talks for the prenup.
Mm-hmm.
She trying to set him up for the jokes.
Yeah. They shouldn't even be doing this on TV.
Well, this is a show. It's called Wags to Riches.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This shouldn't even be done on television, because at this point is for sure, and 9 out of 10 is going to end up dissolving.
Go ahead, Ty.
Like this entire thing is just ridiculous. Like Luis was saying, they are the 1%, right? This is not something that regular people come into contact with and sit down and have conversations about. The fact that they even had their lawyer sitting there and going back and forth over dinner just shows how unsolid or not real their relationship is to begin with. Like,
Yeah.
what real relationship do you guys even have where she's asking for $3 million a year just for being married to you? She wanted alimony up front, which means she already knows it's not going to last. It's not going to last. I want all my money up front so I don't have to worry about it. The only part of that full prenup that I did agree with was the infidelity clause. And Chad instantly was out then because he knows he's going to cheat. Luis was saying if a man knows he's going to cheat, then that's probably why he should go ahead and get the prenup and iron all of that out. When my whole take is, if you know you're going to cheat from the beginning, don't get married. What are you marrying her for? You could just keep dating her and dating everybody else that you want to date because she's going to stick around just to get the clout from you. Clearly, that's all she's really going after because she wants 25% of a podcast that she's not a part of. She has a full business that was a show before they even got on this show. And her being with Chad helped boost that even more. So she's getting benefits from him. Chad really doesn't get a lot of benefits from her, but she wants all of his money up front. I don't even understand why they're having this conversation. It doesn't make sense. And this is what I mean by people seeing those red flags before they decide to marry these people, and they do it anyway. It doesn't make sense.
Go ahead, Ashley.
I actually watched the show. I watched her other show before that. A lot of her, I guess a lot of her demands come from her. She said she was married twice before, I believe. And the 2 times she was married, she said that she was left broke, right? And with kids, and she was left with nothing. So I guess that is where her demand is coming from her history. She was also like during her confessions and stuff, she was kind of speaking on her fear of not being able to provide. And then she was also speaking about, I think Chad has like 6 or 7 kids. So she wanted to protect her assets, right? She was like, normally, if they're married, the baby moms normally will come after the wife as well. So I agree with some of the things she said, but at the same time, I do think she was being a little bit selfish when it came to him saying like he wanted some portion of her business, because he did put her in spaces where she wasn't getting into without him, like without the property, the people, whatever, like the multimillionaires, the investors and stuff. So I think they both contribute to each other getting more wealth. Like he contributes to her, she contributes to him, because he brought her in those spaces, but she's getting the money, and right now she's making more money than him. So right now she's the breadwinner. I don't know, I just think that, like I said, I think she is acting out of a place of fear, right? She's like, oh, I was divorced 2 times and I was completely broke. These men, left me broke or whatever, and I don't want to do that again. So I get that, but at the same time, she's being a little bit selfish. You know what I'm saying?
Ash, I just have to say, I don't agree. Why am I? I don't agree with her being left broke after being with her 2 ex-husbands, because she had a full real estate business before Chad came into the picture. Now Chad did elevate her business, but she already had it. So our perception of what broke is and what she is seeing as broke is a lifestyle, right? Now that she's with Chad, she's getting introduced to this extremely high lifestyle. He's introducing her to all these other millionaires and billionaires, and she wants to hold on to that. She will never be broke. She will never be real broke like a lot of us know. Oh, please.
I mean, please. I don't want to kind of like speak on somebody else's like financial pockets and say somebody said it was broke. I don't know what that means. I just know based on what she's saying, like, hey, yeah, I was broke. I was left with my children. We had nothing, and she was basically saying she had to work like super hard to get where she's at. She said also before she got with Chad, she was already a millionaire. Maybe not a multi-millionaire, but she was a millionaire. We don't know how long like her other kids are adults, so we don't know how long the divorces was and how long it took her to pick herself back up. So I don't want to speak on nobody's pocket and say, oh, you wasn't broke. Like, you wasn't my broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, my broke is, if I say I'm broke, trust me, I got a little money. It's not that I got $0, but I don't have it like that.
But you just stated yourself, she was a millionaire before she met Chad. And I just don't understand. Like, okay, you got out of these relationships, they didn't go well, and then you had to work hard to get back to the lifestyle that you wanted. Okay, so does everybody else. That's what everybody got to do. We all got to work hard to get back to that lifestyle. For you to want $3 million a year in upfront alimony is insane. She is literally building a nest egg off of him, which doesn't make sense because she makes more. By what everybody understands, he's bringing more money. So if anything, Chad should be the one building that nest egg, right? He should get $15,000 a month.
How many times has he been married?
I think he's been engaged a couple times, but I don't know about married.
Oh, so he's never been married?
I don't know. I don't know if he got married to Eva Longoria, I think her name is. It's like another basketball wife or something.
Yeah, I think he definitely need it, but he damn near don't even need to marry the young lady though.
I got another clip that I'm gonna play, and then we'll still dive into a little bit more.
Welcome is proof that even a broke clock is right twice a day. Why did that lady Sherelle sit up there and tell Ochocinco that she wants a prenuptial agreement to where if they divorce, she gets a $3 million lump sum and $15,000 a week or a month afterwards in alimony? So then his lawyer brought up current income within their household, and she brings in more money currently. And regardless of what he got in the bank, she brings in more money currently. After they ask this, she then says, well, what about the podcast? Because I at least need to leave with a piece of the podcast. And they both trying to sit there and figure out, we both got money. So if something ever happened, we just both need to leave with what we came with. And she sells $1 million homes in Tampa. And word on the street is she's a good realtor. These women are trying to manipulate these men. This ain't about no money. This ain't about no masculinity. These women want to manipulate these men right about they shit. Because I don't give a damn what y'all say, and they learning it from their mamas. Because you can say what you want to. These women be single and bitter, not broke. They are trying to manipulate the fuck. How the fuck you trying to go after the money he had before he met you and I ain't never seen the lady on the podcast. And I watched the podcast.
Agreed.
Off topic, is wearing a bonnet the same as like men wearing a do-rag?
Yes.
Okay.
It's hair protection. Why she had to wear the bonnet for the video, we don't know.
Well, I'm saying like in public. Is it the same as like men wearing a do-rag compared to a female wearing a bonnet in public?
Yes, it all looks ghetto.
I'm not sure. Did Brittany, you say anything, Brittany?
No, I didn't. About the bonnet?
No.
Or just in general?
No, about the prenups. You know,
I mean, the bonnet and do-rag out in public is definitely ghetto, but no.
No, we're not there. We're talking about the prenups.
I don't know. That's just how I was raised. My mom was like, you better take that scarf off before you leave about this house. You know, back in the day, had your hair wrapped. Take it off.
Yeah, we're talking about the prenups.
Shout out to Mama Golden. Shout out to Mama Golden.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Brittany's on delay though, you know.
Okay. Brittany, we're talking about the prenups. the videos that were just played.
Oh, I mean, we had pivoted to the bonnet, but yeah, I didn't say anything about the prenups. I mean, but I can if I need to. I didn't say anything else about it. I mean, I feel like I agree that I still stand on what I said earlier. I think we need prenups. You have to protect your assets. I love the example that Cloud used earlier. It's protecting it's like life insurance. You know, you get insurance to protect your assets. You don't go into the situation thinking, oh, I'm going to get into an accident, but you know, there are high chances that you can, you know, based on statistics. So you got to protect your assets regardless of what your income is, what his income is. I mean, unless some other people said it earlier, unless you're like building from scratch and you have nothing, but then again, you have to think about, and I don't know the law, but you have to think about your future assets. I don't know how your retirement account would play into that. You know, like you might not own a home or anything yet, but maybe you've been working for some years and, you know, down the line, 20 years down the line, you have a really solid 401k. At that point, you've got to protect that as well. So a prenup.
All right. Anybody else? Ari Inc.
Yeah. But Brittany, that's what. Well, go ahead, Ari. Go ahead.
I thought two things in that video were kind of telling. One, that the deal breaker for him was not actually the discussion around the alimony payments. The deal breaker was that infidelity clause. And the second thing that had me thinking about was, is she putting that high alimony number on there so that there's a bigger consequence should he cheat? Like if you cheat and make this marriage end or break this marriage in that way, then you're gonna be punished financially, and so maybe you'll think twice. Plus, I'm gonna put this infidelity clause on as well, right? Like to me, that felt like maybe she's trying to ensure his behavior instead of choosing a partner that she can trust.
Aria, I'm gonna help you out and say this: she is eye candy. She looks good. She presents well. She has great things going for herself. But in the context of a relationship, people do not present the same well. What we're shown, the advertisement, is not the same behind closed doors. And sort of, if you're going to sign up to marry somebody who just looks amazing and looks great on paper as well, but do you want to wake up the next day next to them? Do you have to beg them for sex or intimacy? That's the part. And I get the sense that if she's doing all these leveraging, I am willing to bet that she's the type to kind of neglect or withhold sex or intimacy and all these things like that. So those things come into play. People don't talk about them. We talk, women do weaponize that big time in relationships and in marriage. We just never bring it up to the table and call a thing. So
are you saying that?
Weird. Hold on.
Okay.
I find it weird that people ask and want monogamy, but yet never want to do the things that adhere to monogamy to keep their relationship monogamous. But go ahead.
Like I was just commenting on what I saw in front of me and the behavior that they were engaging in, the conversation they were having. But it sounds like what you're saying is some women deserve to get cheated on. Is that what you're? I mean,
that's not what I'm alluded to at all. What I'm talking about is more specifically if you're paying attention closely to their dynamic. She's a woman that looks good, great, like that. But we don't understand these people's dynamic behind closed doors and how they tend to kind of leverage certain things against each other. In that instance, if she's highly concerned about him stepping out or whatever, let me tell you something. There are women out here that are so confident that their man will never cheat on them because you know what? 3 things: they never leave home hungry, horny, and unhappy. They're always coming back home. You know what I'm saying? She's not that type of woman, man. She's a boss chick. You know what I'm saying? She is front and center. She is front of house. You know?
Period.
You know, and that is cool. I have nothing against that. But when you're dealing with a certain type of man like him who has the type of personality and the type of, you know what I'm saying, aura, you get a completely different, subset of conditions. And he's going to feel entitled to certain things, and she's going to feel like, I don't want to do any of these things. And that's when the two clash. And sort of, she feels very confident that she'll hold her stance, and that is always something that comes to the table. That always clashes is always the sexual chemistry and the sexual depreciation in the relationship, or deprive.
Luis, so from your point of view, you not being Ochocinco, you were able to pick all of that up. Like you stated, she's the head of house. She's supposed to be a boss chick. She may not care that much about satisfying her man, making sure he is fed and happy so that he returns home. Are you telling me that Chad himself cannot see that in her all by himself?
He could see that.
If he can, why is he choosing to marry her?
Because this is the thing about it. He's not picking her with his big brain. He's picking her with his small brain. That is the reality of the matter. I called the thing a thing. I gave her flowers from the very beginning. She's an attractive woman. You know what I'm saying? She's very much eye candy. She's smart. She has a lot going for herself. I've seen the show, and I see how she maneuvers in friendship dynamics and how she maneuvers in relationship dynamics. And I'm looking at the two and I'm juxtaposing, and I'm like, yeah, like they're going to have frictions. And if you're at the table having these kind of conversations that you're sprunging up with your lawyer, it's because you haven't sat down behind closed doors and had a sit down with each other. Babe, this is what I think we should do. Here's my list of things that I would like to propose. Let me hear yours. Let me share mine. They're not doing that. They're like, well, here it is, nigga. Either you want to sign up or not.
Oh, I don't know, Luis.
I agree with him. Go ahead, Biz.
Yeah.
Did anybody notice that clause wasn't applied to her though? That cheating clause.
He didn't. He could have thrown it back at her.
It was who proposed it. Yeah.
Why didn't he? That's the question.
She threw it at the last minute. It was like a half court shot, though, Ty. She threw in there like a half court shot, like a mic drop. That's exactly what she's doing.
But
look, man, let me say this. I agree with
everything else. He could have counteracted her just like he countered what's the name, everything else.
So I think hold on, y'all, because I think Hank, you said Viz can go, and then we'll go to you. Go ahead, Viz.
It's all good. I was just gonna say I think I haven't seen the show, but I have worked on reality TV shows, and a lot of this shit is just scripted. So I'm interested if this is just a facade that they're putting on for the show, because I would hope that Ocho, at the grand age that he's at, and for him to have been in the league, how long ago? He damn near 20, 30 years. So
no, it ain't been that long. It ain't been that long. Early 2000s.
20 years?
Probably about 10.
Yeah, it's been about a decade. It's been about a decade.
Well, so him being around eye candy isn't anything new, is my point. So for him to go to the extent of saying I'm a wife you after never being married, I mean, there has to be some type of sync that's happening, and potentially this all just being for show for the TV.
Let's go.
Didn't she also step out?
I have a question.
Wait, y'all, because everybody trying to talk over each other. So let's go to Hank, Cloud, then we'll come back to Luis and then Ash. Go ahead, Hank.
So he stopped playing with the New England Patriots in 2011, was his last year in the NFL. I agree with Lou. I agree with Lou. Look, she's in the in the business of real estate. She's a realtor. So please believe she got a lot of Joy Taylor in this heifer. Let's be honest. She has a lot of Joy Taylor in this heifer. She done got her way to the top for certain reasons, and she did certain things. And some of them vacated the house. She got bent over. She got dealt with. She got handled to get to where she got. I believe that because she got that Joy Taylor in her. And to see she went through 2 different marriages, yes, she didn't leave out broke. Please believe me, she got some child support. This ain't her first time asking for alimony or getting alimony. Yeah, she got that too. She's smart enough to know she might didn't do it the first marriage, but that second marriage, yeah, she learned. She learned fast. So I'm not surprised by what she's doing right now with Chad. Like Lou said, he's not thinking with his big head. He's thinking with his smaller head, and he's moving up. This man got 6 kids, and I think about 4 different women. Please believe you me, he's not picking the woman that he needs. He's picking the woman that he wants, and this is another woman that he wants, just for the aesthetics. That's all he sees, and it's unfortunately, I talk about this all the time. Men don't stop moving and operating like that. I know she's got a juicy breast. I know she's got a big old ass. But what's between her ears, that's what you need to worry about. And what's between her ears is getting your ass. If you act a fool, if you don't do what she asks you, Chad, you don't take that trash out, I'm going to get that money. You're going to pay these alimony. I know you're going to cheat. Why? You cheat on your other girlfriends, your other baby mamas. How you think I got you now? Because you probably cheated to get her. You might have cheated on her with your other woman. So this ain't nothing new for her. She's operating as business as normal. These type of women you better watch out for, fellas. They don't mean no goddamn good. I'll leave it there.
All right, go ahead, Luis, responding.
But Hank, she also is a cheater as well, because she also stepped out on her marriage with an active ball player at that time. I recall, from what I recall, there was right. So we try to sell. We got to stop trying to sell this image that, just because she's a woman that she's an angel. Like, anybody could slip up. But the reality is that she understands the game, and she's also played it, and she's also done dirty. And because of that, she knows she has the propensity to do the same thing, because there's already a precedent example of that happening in her past. So she's just trying to leverage that against him.
I think Ty had a question.
No, I was just going to answer Via's question. So he did marry Evelyn. They were only married for a year, though. They got married in 2012. They got divorced in 2012. And I think that's when the allegations of abuse and everything happened. He was like beating on her or something.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me just play a little bit of this clip.
You see somebody with a podcast and they woman or wife is on the podcast. That's a red flag.
That's non-negotiable. The podcast is not going to be touched. The podcast is something that he's grown on his own with his business partners.
And I'm part of the business partner. It worked out for the good. And I feel like everything happens for a reason. Like, that was our time. That was the lady's time. But I'm going to go get her. So if I see an opportunity, I'm going to still pitch something else. So that chapter had closed, and now it's time to come to Miami and pitch something else. I wasn't going to give up. I mean, I felt like I was born for this.
First is trying to contract to some alimony up front. Yeah.
How much are we talking about here?
Well, Sherelle is proposing $3 million a year.
Oh my God, she is so entitled. My brother Ochocinco, he cuff ain't Chad Ochocinco, Craig, just as you walked in, because unfortunately, my brother's business is out there on the internet.
Dang, yeah, that's terrible.
And it ain't good.
No.
It ain't good. Chad, my brother, is always in a relationship with a Latino nothing.
Yeah.
He had the one Lozada first.
She was bad.
Everybody know this ain't.
Yeah.
Everybody know this. But he cuff ain't.
Chad has always been my celebrity crush.
Really?
Yes.
For like years.
Years. He was my favorite athlete. He's always been like, I have never felt a way about a man the way that I feel about Chad. It worked out for the good. And I feel like everything happens for a reason. Like, that was our time. That was the ladies' time. But I'm gonna go get her. So if I see an opportunity, I'm gonna still pitch something else. So that chapter had closed, and now it's time to come to Miami and pitch something else. I wasn't gonna give up. I mean, I felt like I was born for this.
You do. And the reason I say this, because I've heard the woman talk.
I haven't heard her talk.
Oh my God, she is so entitled, brother. Brother, you won't believe it. I'll just give you an example of what happened. Online telling everybody, oh, me and him are broken up. Ladies, he's a free man. You can like she's in charge of something. What woman who's respectable would even post that?
Exactly.
If you see somebody with a podcast and they woman or wife is on the podcast, that's a red flag. That is a sign for help. See, if you handle your relationship proper, when your woman wants to come to your job, especially a podcast, something that they obviously don't respect because you want to come with me. I don't know what the come with me for, and I'm going to the podcast. You ain't You think they want to see you? I'm the only one that want to see you. I don't need you on the podcast with me.
Yeah, but they said you was a mean girl. They said you was going hard from jump. So you gotta explain yourself, Sherelle. Like, are you a mean girl, or were you just putting up for the cameras? Like, what was it exactly? Like, I wouldn't say mean girl. Of course, it's TV.
That's not the type of woman that when you.
I'm gonna just stop it there and I'll finish playing. Go ahead, Ash.
First of all, Hink, you are a trip. That's all I want to say for that comment. She was bent over. You're a trip for that. Damn. I feel like people, right? What is it? What is your name? Viz? I can't see your name. But I have a similar background, right? So I do like producing, directing. I was on a couple of shows. I did a couple of movies and stuff on Tubi. So I get exactly what you're saying where I get exactly what you're saying where on the outside looking in, people don't understand the dynamics of you need drama for the show, right? Like I said, I watched the show. So there was a point where they had their pastor when she invited their pastor over and they was doing couples counseling and stuff like that, therapy, right? And obviously you could kind of see their real relationship where they was talking, they were praying, she was setting up things, she got a chef to come in and cook his favorite meal and stuff to kind of say, oh, just because she's a boss bitch or she looks a certain type of way, she doesn't know how to cater to her man. Chad, like y'all said, he's been in the game for a while. She's not the first bad bitch she's ever fucked with, and they have a child together, right? So to kind of say because a woman looks a certain type of way or because she's business minded means that she's not able to take care of her man, or he just with her because now he got the woman that he wants. I don't feel like that. I think that he's with the woman that he needs. His other baby moms, I feel like he was the provider. On the show, he said, "This is the first time I haven't been a provider." He said, "I'm okay with that." He's allowing her to do her own thing. He's allowing her to make the money, and he's just chilling. He said he never done that before, where he's just spending time with his children. So the wild shit that's in your mind is just like mind-boggling to me. I also feel like that scene at the table with their lawyers was just to bring their show some drama. Like I said, if you guys are just on the outside looking in, y'all just like, oh, this is how the relationship is. It might not even be just that. Like, I did when I was married, me and my ex or whatever, we did a show, and it was a lot of things that was real, but it was also a lot of things that they scripted and told me to say, like, oh, tell him you're pregnant. Whole time I'm already like 6 months pregnant, and he already knew I'm fucking pregnant. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that's behind the scenes that you guys might not know. I don't know. I don't feel like that. I feel like they love each other. I just think it's just a whole bunch of nonsense just to get the show popping, just to get the people talking. Oh, she said he's single. Let's watch the show. Let's see why. It's just a money grab, just to make them more popping, more lit, make people tune in, and get people talking like this.
Yeah, this is right there from Sherelle. Chad and I are no longer together. Please stop tagging us. He is a free man, ladies. And then this lady was the one that responded, says, thanks. Finally sliding his DMs. And Sherelle responded by saying, LOL, I hope you don't catch nothing, sis.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know, man. I wish I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because again, dude been in the game for a long time. He been in the NFL for a minute. I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who it is too. Let's make sure everybody mute up. Go ahead, Viz. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna go ahead and continue this video. Can y'all hear me okay? Thumbs up. Okay, so it's not me. Everybody else got some other stuff going on. Here we go.
Got a man at home. I don't know who all are familiar with what happens with Ochocinco, but one day his wife called him. I mean, his fiance called him and say, I'm out here on this Don Julio. I'll be home in a little bit. Get it ready. That is the greatest role reverse I ever saw in my life.
A party with a homegirl, right?
Yeah.
And hit me on the phone at the party. It was like 12:30. You say, baby, I'm on that Don Julio. You better be ready when I get home. Oh, I done took a shower. I done lotioned up. Well, I'm finna wear her ass out. So she come home. I pretend like I'm asleep though. Listen, stay with me real quick. People in the chat, they probably don't even know. People in the chat don't understand. I have been afforded and put in a fortunate position to be a stay-at-home father.
Chad is not like your typical guy, especially black guy. Most black men in a relationship want to show that I'm the breadwinner. Be submissive to me. With Chad, he puts me to the forefront. He's okay with telling people sometimes Sherelle checks are bigger than mine, and I'm okay with that. And that's something totally different. That's what I love about him.
We're following breaking news off the top at 11. Just one night after his Dolphins debut, wide receiver Chad Johnson has been arrested for allegedly striking his wife.
Evelyn told police a headbutt resulted with a laceration on her forehead. Evelyn was transported to a local hospital after being treated on the scene. Chad remains in the Broward County Jail.
But I know I had messed up. There was no coming back from that. There was no rebounding. There wasn't enough sorries. There was nothing I could do or say at that moment once I had gotten in trouble for that stupidness on my part. There was nothing I could do. I knew it was a wrap. I knew it was over.
Evelyn said, seeing known abusers comment on domestic violence incidents is unacceptable. He's got to be talking about Chad. My assumption is that Chad chimed in on the Giddy situation, and now, she's chiming in response to him.
So I see that we're all on the same page with Wags to Riches. The mean girl energy is crazy. I stopped at episode 3 because I had to go to sleep, but I'm gonna finish watching it. Some of y'all stopped watching it, and I get it. I gotta see it through because I'm hoping, like, in the end, they can, like, how shows start off a little rocky, and then in the end, they kind of like. But then again, when I think about watching Selling Tampa and Sherelle's attitude, then I'm just starting to think that that's just who she is and how she is. I don't know.
Girl, you are losing me. I'm on episode 3 and I'm just not understanding. Okay, so this is real. Obviously, I'm sure most of you guys know this is Ochocinco's ex-fiance. And she's really being a mean girl. And a part of me gets it, but I'm like, girl, it's just doing too much. So this girl in the black and the glitter, the brown skin one, she is apparently one of Rick Ross's baby mamas. And unfortunately, she had a tape that ended up leaking or whatever. And Rel is just like, bruh, I don't mess with you. I don't like your reputation. I've been hearing stuff about you in the streets. Just Google her, da-da-da-da. Which a part of me is like, I get to each his own. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, we all got stuff. And Rel, you got stuff. And Rel, you have been on the platform saying that you cheated on your husband. Should men not take you seriously because they think that you're going to cheat on them? And you had control over that. She did not have control over what happened to her. So I'm a little bit confused. Then on top of that, Kodak Black's baby mama be busting windows out of cars and be fighting people in public, and you are okay with hanging out with her, but you're not okay with hanging out with someone. Maybe there's additional context that I need, but it's not making sense. But I do like the fact that Kodak Black baby mama, I can't say her name, I don't know how to say her name, but she would basically call Rel a mean girl. Like, because what is that animosity for? Even though they are friends, she was just like, yeah, you can be a little mean sometimes. And I'm like, girl, like, what is going on?
Your man is going to carry you through and do what you need so that y'all in a good place. You can't do it because somebody could rob us at fist.
All right. Like, there's a whole lot going on there, man. I'm not in touch with the reality.
I'm here for some man messing, man. God damn.
Well, I mean, we could agree with one thing, that those two types of people do not belong together. Those two types of people are dynamite ready to go off, right? He clearly is a very emotional man who can't seem to control his temper. right? And he sometimes has to resort to, violence and, putting his hands on people. In this case, his woman. And sort of he, the other girl, Sherelle, she sees those things. I'm pretty sure she's done her homework and she understands his tendencies. Although they have great chemistry, there are certain things in their lives that they still haven't figured out or have worked out. And those things always show up to the surface. This is why people need to put all these barriers and, all these things in their prenup, right? Is to protect themselves, which is fine, but it's not so much from a financial aspect. It's also from a safety aspect, right? Like each party views the other as a bit of a liability.
Anybody else want to chime in on this? Haven't already. You've been pretty quiet, man. I'm surprised you been going off on this prenup stuff. You too, Ish. Ish playing it safe for some reason. Go ahead, Ash.
She was definitely being a mean girl though. When I watched it, she definitely was. I actually thought she had like a problem with darker skinned women up there. While I was watching it, and I was just trying not to damn, my bad. Hold up. I was trying not to make that feel like that, but once I was watching, I'm like, damn, she got it. I don't know. She might have an issue with darker skinned women, or sometimes I just feel like maybe she has like a issue with other boss bitches coming in her energy, because everybody that was around her was making a little bit less than her. So she was just like the highest one, so everybody was coming to her to make connections. So she might have some type of superiority complex or something like that. I don't know. And I don't know, in on the clip, she said she liked being the breadwinner. She liked the fact that Chad wasn't like most black men or whatever. He was just taking the route, the not so traditional route with like, all right, I'm being a stay-at-home dad. So she liked that control feeling. So I don't know. That's what I got from it.
Just call a thing a thing. She likes submissive men. She likes submissive men. She likes passive men. Like that, let's just call it a thing. Her personality in the dynamic with another man who also is like that are going to explode. The difference is that he doesn't know how to control his own temper. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with him. If it was any other dude, would probably be perfect for her. But he unfortunately doesn't have that down to a science yet. And sort of she needs to be in that dominant role. And I dislike a lot of guys, well, at least people that I know, who are not interested in signing up to be underneath the woman's heel.
I think that both of them know they have no business marrying each other. That's what it seems like, because, both of them kind of used the opportunity to say, okay, never mind then, for one. But it does seem like, she knows she shouldn't be marrying him, and that's why she wants to put this money thing in place so that she has more power and control in the situation. And he knows that he should not be marrying her, which is why, instead of counter offering, instead of actually negotiating, it's no longer a conversation. Like, you don't want to marry me then. It just seems like, yes, it was for TV, but then also neither one of you are in it.
Yeah, I think somebody made a good point earlier, not too long ago, but just looking at this situation, it kind of makes you think about how a lot of people know that they shouldn't be with certain people, but they still go ahead and proceed with them anyway. And I think we find ourselves in these situations where you have this chaos, this breakup, all this messiness. So I think we probably need to just really kind of hone in on the beginning. I think is important. I think the foundation is very important. So we really got to pay attention And if you do see something that are suspect, question it and see if it's something that's going to make sense for you in the long run. Because once you get wrapped into these things, man, it can destroy you. You know, both man and woman, depending on what you have and depending on what y'all created. So I think it's important for us to really kind of just focus in the beginning and make sure we don't wind up in these situations.
Yeah, JR, because they look, they both are abusive. They just do it in different forms of fashion. You know, he was more of a physical abuser, and she's an emotional abuser. They're both abusive, and that's a recipe for disaster for them too. I mean, look, I'm surprised they lasted this long to the point of where they are now. Uh, but as far as Chad, hopefully, man, you know, he got help from that situation when he was with the Dolphins, and took some type of anger management course. Hopefully, there was part of maybe a plea agreement or some type of settlement or deal with his ex-wife. Hopefully, he did and got the help that he need. Because putting hands on women, that's never okay. I don't give a shit what happens or what goes on. You don't do that shit, man. That's not cool. It's not okay. So hopefully, he got some help with that, man.
And you got to also factor in too, and I think Ari may know something about it. Is people, you know, they do trauma bond. It still exists. You know, people come together for some odd reason. They come together to, I'm not explaining it. It's like they the band-aid for each other, or they mix when they shouldn't be mixing, and they trying to fulfill a need or trying to obtain something or seek something. So you got to be conscious of that as well.
I think in their situation, they were together for the benefits. They both saw how they could benefit from each other. She could grow her business larger. He had better connections. And like he stated, he's never been in a position where he could just be a stay-at-home dad and have a woman take care of all the bills. If I put her in the right position, she can take care of everything. She doesn't mind doing it. And I can stay at home and do what I want to do.
I was having a conversation earlier about, because some people look at marriage as a business, but even when you have a mirror up here, and she speaks about she don't know why Americans marry for love, and so they marry more off arrangement and what makes sense to push the family ahead. And so some people in America, I believe they do marry that way, that they look at it as beneficial for them. It has nothing to do with love. They're thinking about how can we benefit from each other. Well, one person may be thinking, the other person may not be thinking about it. Or maybe they both thinking about it, but they don't want to be loyal to that plan. And so they entertain something else. But it is interesting just to kind of see the reason as to why folks get married is different. And everybody's not on that same agenda of marrying for love. Some people is just married for selfish reasons.
I don't think getting married for like business is a selfish reason at all. I tend to think that marriages people that come together to cultivate that are like create business and stuff, they tend to last longer than people who just get in a relationship for love, especially when they get hit with like money issues. Oh, we can't pay this, we can't pay that, and that becomes a real issue in a relationship. But when people are coming together and they're building things together, they're making money together, they tend to fall in love like that. Like, oh shit, we're building together, we're working on this together, we're making money together, we're problem solving together. I think that is when people bond together, and that makes the love come in after. I don't feel like marriage has to be what's it like a fast burn. I think slow burn in a marriage is way better, and it makes it last longer. To me, that's what I feel like.
I feel like this is my thoughts. If you have a marriage, but it's not based on love, then personally, I just think you shouldn't expect fidelity then, because I don't think most people want to be sleeping with somebody that they don't have no love for. And usually in those arranged business relationships, that's the understanding that he's going to have whatever on the side, because she understands that I'm not in love with him. And this is about building legacy and about family name. Like if you look at, like, for example, the Gates, like he has a girlfriend beside Melinda Gates, and apparently she known about it from before they got divorced. So he always had his like girlfriend on the side, which was apparently like Bill Gates' girlfriend from high school. So he has the person that he built with for his business, but then he has a person he has actual emotional feelings for. So again, if someone's trying to marry you for business, then that's cool, but then don't have no infidelity clauses, because the infidelity clause is about love. Like, if you really care, well, I'm sticking it, you know what I mean, because you want me to only love you. But if you in it for business, then what you want control over my body for? Well, let's get money. That ain't got nothing to do. You know what I mean? That got nothing to do with getting money. We could get money, and you could do what you do, and I do what I do if that's what we doing, you know. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I said, once, for me, from what I've seen, once you and that person start making this money together, right? Maybe you guys started from the bottom, and that is what's making you guys come closer. I'm not saying, like, there is going to be some form of love, right? I don't feel like love is an overnight thing. I really don't. I tend to feel like if a person is like, oh, I'm in love with you and we just met, that's not love. That's more of a lust thing. I feel like love comes over time, like, especially falling in love with me. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not just an instant simultaneously thing like that. So once, like I said, once you guys are spending time with each other, you guys, like, your business is your baby. Y'all both are, hey, yeah, we sitting down, we're coming up with business ideas, we're planning stuff. You know what I'm saying? We going over like, oh yeah, I think this, and I think that's bonding. And that's typically how men fall in love, right? Y'all don't fall in love with sex or gifts and stuff like that. Y'all fall in love with the woman, right, who typically helps you solve your problems, your issues. That's how men typically fall in love. That's just from my experience. Women are the ones who typically fall in love with the nice gestures. We spending time. Y'all don't fall in love like that. Y'all, oh yeah, I'm getting a bag with my woman. We building this together. She I'm laughing at your video. We're building together. You know what I'm saying? She's helping me. She's helping me create my dreams, my reality. I tend to feel, especially men that are entrepreneurs. I can't speak for men that wants, like, that's just okay with having a regular 9 to 5, but men that are typically entrepreneurs and go-getters, they typically fall in love with a woman who can help them reach their goals.
Where are
So I think that you touched on some really good points, honestly, because from a psychological perspective, attraction generally comes from history more than anything else. So if you've got relational issues or trauma in your past, oftentimes that familiarity feels like limerence, which is that lust feeling. You're releasing serotonin, dopamine, you're getting all excited because your brain feels familiar with this person. If we take a step back, before we've even started dating, before we've even started talking to somebody, and we say, when I'm in a stable relationship, a stable long-term relationship, these are my goals, and this is what I want to feel like, this is what I want to be doing, right? Then the person that seems like they might fit that version of your life isn't necessarily going to be the person that you instantly have all these like chemical feelings for. And I'm kind of wondering if, like, the arranged marriage points that people were making, I'm wondering if taking the focus off of that initial attraction, taking the focus off of the lust part and putting it on, even if it's something else like financial or whatever else, if that is building a more stable foundation for love to grow on sometimes, not saying that it is going to, but I feel like maybe that it's not necessarily important that you're focused on the finances, but maybe it's important that you're focused on something else other than your initial feelings. I don't know if I'm making sense, but that was kind of what I came to.
Yeah, you are. But you know what's so interesting too, Aria? A lot of people are born and raised under lust. Everything is lust. Like, if you really, really look at it psychologically in terms of like the things that from young children, how they're raised and reared all the way to their teenage years, and you look at the things that they've seen, the things that they're exposed to, you know, from TVs, movies, advertisement, the constant, always in your face, in trying to project and sell you this sort of dream, they themselves don't even believe, what they see at times, right? And it's gotten to the point that's all most people talk about. Because when I've gone on dates and I've talked to women and I've asked these certain questions, a lot of them look at me like I had 3 heads. And they'll be like, oh, no one has ever asked me that. Oh, no one has ever brought that up. So I'd be curious, like, what the fuck y'all be talking about then? If y'all not talking about any of the things that allow you to see if you're compatible, if you can see yourself with this person long time, if you share the same or similar values, what are you spending your majority of the time talking about? Your favorite color, favorite TV show, like where you want a vacation? Like, that is the simplest thing that we could talk about. That's all that's up and down the IG timeline. But the deeper stuff people don't want to talk about, because unfortunately it makes them uncomfortable, because they haven't sat with themselves long enough to fully vet those things for themselves, to be able to share or articulate it with someone else of interest. That's really what it is. And that's the part that scares most people. They haven't gone far. They think they've gone far. They haven't crossed to the other side to feel confident and and have conviction in who they are. Most people out here do not have conviction of who they are. They have conviction of what society tells them that they ought to be, how they ought to behave, how they ought to dress, the things that they should demand. And yet they don't even demand those very things from their own self. So, there you go.
Like that. Anybody else?
I think
Yeah, I kind of wanted to add to something she said. Y'all mentioned something about lust, and then y'all mentioned like y'all juxtaposed it against like this deeper, slower growing love. And to me, that's a misunderstanding. To me, lust is a type of love, and that deeper familial bond that you're talking about is another type of love. And I think a lot of times the confusion people have is it's not very often that you find those two things in one place, because they come from opposite instincts. The thing that drives, especially in men, the thing that drives a man's nurturing instinct is very different from what drives his sexual instinct. And it's the same with women. The guy that women want to sleep with is very different from the guy they want to marry. And it's the same for men too. The woman that we want to sleep with is very different from the woman we want to marry. So I think if we consider that, you can't really know what to expect, because people have different desires of love in their life. That's why I said, listen, if it's going to be about money, if it's about familial love, then familial love isn't the same as romantic love. That's not the same as sexual love. You get what I'm saying? So if we're focusing this relationship on familial love and building, then that's one thing. But then we can't concern ourselves with sexual love, because that's a whole nother entity in itself. And if we're building our relationship based off sexual love, then the chances are we're not going to be doing much building, and we're not going to be doing much deep conversation like what Luis was talking about. So I really feel like people have to just decide what it is that they want to build their relationship, what type of relationship they're looking for. Are you looking for sexual love, or are you looking for a familial bond? But you have to realize that those are not the same thing at all. And if you can accept that they're not the same thing, I think you can find happiness. But if you try to make them the same thing, in most cases, I don't think they'll ever be the same thing, because what makes you feel familially bonded to someone kills sexual attraction. And what makes you feel sexually attracted to someone is not think you can't look at them like family. You get what I'm saying? So I'll yield there.
But Cloud, in most instances where relationships are based on lust and just only sexual attraction, not like any of the other chemistry and none of the other components, or what I like to call ingredients of the relationship, those tend to burn up fast and die out quick, right? Because it cannot sustain for long periods of time. There are some that go very long, don't get me wrong, but for like years and years, it just doesn't. You know what I'm saying? People change, and people way of thinking evolves too.
I think more so it's harder for people to display that publicly. And so when people, because if you really talk to a lot of people that have this burning passion for somebody, like the person that they was the side person, or the person that burning passion has usually been there for a long time. Like they knew this person in high school and they're in their 40s now and they still feel the same way about that person in high school. So usually those lust-driven relationships actually last a long time. It's just that they don't have a foundation that you can kind of step into the light with. So it's very hard to go to people, hey, this is my lover, and all we do is fuck. You know what I mean? It's very hard to do that and say that this is who I'm dedicating my life to. People kind of need an excuse publicly to be with someone. So we have to say, oh, well, we're building a family and we're building together and we're starting a business and this is about growth. And some people don't want that in life. Some people just want somebody that they could just have a good time with and have sexual love with. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's necessary that they fizzle out. I just think that one is a little bit more acceptable in society. So one type of love kind of goes towards the shadows. You have people cheating to express that love. You have mistresses to express that type of love. And one is more publicly acceptable, and that's the familial bond. And I think that especially for men, it's viewed that by a certain age, you should be giving up your sexual desire and seeking out familial bonds, you know? So that I think that's more of a reason why those tend to fizzle out. But I don't think it's because people don't want it or because it's like just lust. I think it's just as powerful as the familial bonds. I mean, even the Greeks had a specific name for it when it came to naming love. Like they talked about the godly love and the family love as agape love. Then you have eros, which is romantic love, which is sexual. And then you have the philios, which is like brotherly love or love for your fellow man. So, you know.
I think Brittany was trying to get in that. She hasn't spoken in a while. Go ahead, Brittany.
I mean, I really had a question. I don't want to go too far left, but my question is for you, Arya. When you were explaining earlier, were you more so like making a comparison between like the chemical reactions, we might call it lust, and compatibility, not necessarily, what were you calling it, a familial?
Yeah. So
yeah.
So
and
essentially,
that's what I gathered, right? Because, and I'll just give one example and I'll zip it. So for example, you were saying people should consider dating someone they're highly compatible with, even if they don't have that fuzzy feeling. They're not like in a daze thinking about them and hoping that they text them, but they know that that person is compatible, meaning they know that person values quality time and they'll take them out, or that person, you know, is financially stable, emotionally healthy, like all the things that makes them compatible. But you might not necessarily have those chemical reactions about that person, but because you're compatible, naturally over time you're going to build attraction because it's like they're doing everything that you desire, right? Is that kind of what you were getting at, or was it?
yeah. So I don't think it's either or, but I think the second one is more important. So like to Clout's point, I think ancient Greece had 7 different types of love. And I think the 2 that are not good to build a life on are mania and ludus, I think it is. Or ludin, I don't know, lewd something. But that's obsessive love, and then that's playful, right? And so you can have either one of those, and you can build it into something that's more like philia, which is teamwork, or like storge, that's family love. That's usually for like your biological family, though. I'm trying to remember the other ones. But anyway, you can take different types of love and you can build that into something that's important. But I think the biggest thing that we can take as a strategy is to picture the life that you want and picture the feelings that you want to be having long term, and then decide what type of person could help you build that. So that's not to say that, you know, you can't work together and the picture might change a little bit because this is a good person. But so many of us just focus on that initial am I attracted piece, and that usually doesn't actually produce good results, right? Especially for those of us, myself included, that have had either relationship trauma issues, family issues, whatever. If you have that kind of experience, then your nervous system is a little bit messed up. Like you're gonna be looking for familiarity, and that familiarity is not healthy. So the best thing that I can say to do is just plan ahead and then look for that instead of looking for who just gives you butterflies immediately, right? Or other feelings, you know.
And that is a phenomenon to me. And it's the last thing I'll say. Why is it like, why? And it's not necessarily a question we can answer. I'm just putting it out there. Why do we have those feelings for some people? And usually it's the people we shouldn't have those feelings for. Why do we have those feelings? And then it's like when we meet the person who aligns with what we truly desire, it's just like we're not really feeling them like that. You know what I mean? Why is that?
Actually, there is a lot of research on that. As JR was saying earlier, trauma bonds matter. And so essentially, if you've got a situation in your past where you have felt like you weren't good enough, and had you been good enough, you would have had a better outcome, your nervous system wants to go back in time and fix that. So if you have ever been made to feel like you are not worthy of love, then your nervous system wants to find a similar situation and prove that you're worthy. And so then you're going to find somebody that mirrors that instead of finding somebody that would actually see your worth from the jump.
Hold on. My answer to that question would be, I wanted to answer that question real quick.
And then we go to Aisha.
I got something valuable on it. I would say that the reason why that happens is because passion comes from polarity. Attraction works just like magnets. The reason why negative and positive attract is because they're polar opposites. The reason why when you're more compatible with someone, often you see that there's less butterflies and less feelings of strong attraction is because the more compatible they are, the more like you they are. So if you two are moving as one, there's no polarity. So there's no need for attraction. There's no desire. So that's really what it is. Usually the person that you're going to be most attracted to is going to be very different from you because of polarity. So you might be a very mild-tempered person. You're probably going to be attracted to someone who has a much more bold personality. If you have a very bold personality, you're probably much more attracted to someone who has a much more calm personality. And that's just going to be on a primal level. Now, the person that's more compatible with you, if you're a calm person, might be someone who's also calm. You get what I'm saying? Or like if you're a person with a more bold personality, you might need someone who's not necessarily sensitive to be able to be compatible with you. But that's not going to be the person that's going to be most primally attracted to you. It's going to be the person that's nowhere near as bold as you that's going to be like drawn to your boldness. You know what I mean? So that's really what it is.
Yeah, but also too.
Go ahead real quickly, Luis, and Aisha.
Yeah, I think we focus too much on compatibility and not suitability, right? There's a lot of people who are very much compatible, like you said, that do not belong within a mile radius of each other. And those are the classic, DB situations that we tend to see very often. And sort of, there are obviously things behind the scene that takes place, and obviously Aria speaks to it a little bit better because honestly, that's not my realm.
All right, go Ish.
I actually think that I do believe that opposites attract, but I also believe in like pheromones and energy. So I think that sometimes those things just don't mix well. Like chemically, you don't mix well. Like, for example, I might date somebody and think I cannot stand the way that they smell. Like I can literally smell them, right? And then someone else will date them and think that they smell amazing. And I think that pheromones and things like that have a lot to do with attraction and like who I'm a smell person. So I just think that because even that will like, if you were my life partner and I smelled you and it's just, I just feel like pheromones have a big deal and like your chemical makeup. And I know that people don't look into things like that, just like people don't look at chakras and love languages. But I think that has a major part of attraction. But getting back to the topic, I think that neither one of those people loved each other. I don't think any of that was about love. I don't think any of that was about compatibility. I believe that they have managers and agents, and somebody said, this is who you finna date, and this is who you finna propose to, and we're gonna put this on TV, and we're gonna build up y'all following, and we're going to build a brand. I didn't have much to say on the topic because I don't feel like any of it is real. We know who Chad Ochocinco is, been knowing who he is, didn't know who this lady was until now. Okay. I don't care how many millions she made. We had no idea who she was until she met him. And so her demands were clearly unrealistic. So they were for TV. All of that was for TV. I don't believe any of it. I believe that Ochocinco is smart enough to get a prenup. You know what I mean? And then she's asking for $3 million a year. The man is only worth about $15 million. I think Chad is worth $15 million. I don't think that Chad is the type of man to sit in the house and play the mommy role. So I felt like that he was forcing himself to do that. Right? I feel like he's always been the type of man to slap, women around. And I just don't see that. I don't see him being happy in that role. I see him taking that role for TV. I feel like this was all pre-signed in everybody's contract. That it's literally a script. So I don't know why we're having a conversation about rich people because it's not our reality, right?
Can I ask something off topic but sort of on before we get too far back on the real topic since we were on older? Y'all are like cracking me up. And Lapeef, I text you about this because I'm like, we have to talk about this on one of the shows because I really want people's opinion. What is y'all opinion about dating someone who you might be suitable for, compatible with, all of that, but they have like chronic bad breath? I really, really want to know. What if they are like financially stable, emotionally stable, the sex
but they have
might be great, like all of it.
Well,
No,
but
like,
see, that's the
something
thing
going
with
on.
that. Like, so hold on. The thing with that,
I'm sorry.
and for people who have chronic bad breath, like first and foremost, go to the dentist. Go get checked out. First and foremost,
But you would
make sure
think
you
they
don't
would,
have.
right? If
You
they're
would think.
grown,
Well,
you would think they would go see what's
let's
going
start off
on.
there. Let's start off there. Go to the dentist. Make sure that there isn't any issue with your oral health. Second of all, make sure you stick to a routine where you're ensuring that you're taking care of your oral health, from flossing to brushing to mouthwash, etc. Third off, we
Tongue
need to talk
scraping.
about your diet. A lot of these people have terrible diet. You are what you eat. Hello? A lot of people be eating steak, pork, fucking chicken, all in one.
Got
And
that gout.
they don't have enough veggies in their diet. They don't have enough fruit in their diet.
Do you encourage them to go to the doctor, or should they just have that thought process? You encourage them. I mean, what if it's a new thing? Like,
I ain't gonna lie, them veggies be making them stink. All that garlic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make it as the first date.
If somebody cares about you enough, to pull you to the side and say, "Hey, I'm concerned about your bad breath. Like, this isn't the first time. This isn't the second time. This is an ongoing occurrence. It is so bad that the people down the block are complaining."
Man,
you know what I'm saying? I need you to go.
Hey, but no.
I need you to go make a doctor's appointment, and I need you to go make a dentist appointment.
If your breath stink, we can link.
We can't link. I feel like there should have been other people that informed you of that information before I had to. And if I have to, I have a really
your nostrils should inform you.
Right. I'm like Aisha. I can smell anything. My nose is so strong. So if your breath stinks, the first thing I'm gonna say is, "What does that smell?" Okay. And then I will literally lean in and say, "Your breath stink." I'm gonna tell the person. I have no. I am straightforward on that.
You gotta know
why
that.
would you come here
that
smelling like this? And I couldn't talk to them anymore. I don't care what you have. I don't care how sync we were. We was real cool. All of that. No, I can't do it.
I mean, there's a difference between like a continuous thing breath and whether they ate something. Like, can you tell a difference?
Yeah, no, not like you just had some garlic. No, this is I'm talking about chronic, like something
I mean, typically people.
Is he smoking the hookah and drinking? Because sometimes when you out, you smoking and drinking.
No, I'm not talking about situationally bad breath.
Is it like a
Chronic.
bad tooth? It's a bad tooth stench.
No, well, I'm gonna
You
tell
know
you.
what?
Oh yeah, right.
When
Right.
he whisper, how does it smell when he whispers?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh my God.
Damn.
Yeah, they
How
gonna they
does
might have to
he-
use coconut oil pull in the something.
We went
So
all the way
I want
around.
to I want to highlight
Okay.
something that Aisha had brought up earlier. She talked about pheromones, right? Fellas, it is very important that you like we're having this conversation, and I know we're making light of it and we're laughing, having a good time. I love that for us. However, I do really want y'all to take your health very seriously. Oral health and physical health. Detox. Get some
Wash your
chlorophyll.
hands.
Drink it in the morning with water, 1 glass every day for 30 days. At the end of every month, you should detox for 2 days. Water, lime, flush out, rinse, wash, repeat. There are certain systems you need to implement in your life, especially as you get older, because you shouldn't be smelling like a bag of garbage. That is a no-no. And I want our young men to do this from a very young age, so they're not having to be told by women out and about their poor smelling
Ladies
hygiene.
too.
Yes, you ladies too. Because I be
And
seeing
Brittany,
y'all. Hold on,
to your
I be
point,
seeing you ladies go out to these restaurants and y'all y'all have like if it's an all you can eat buffet, and it's terrible. I'd be like, how the hell do you digest all that? Did you even drink enough water before you started?
Brittany,
And in
Brittany,
all
to your
seriousness, though, if
I would,
somebody is suffering, oh, go ahead. I don't know what's talking
Brittany,
right now.
to your point, I would definitely tell. Like, I would have a conversation and say, hey, like,
Yeah.
you know, I think that there's something going on.
Yeah.
I had to have that
I wouldn't have
conversation
no conversation.
before. Because
No
maybe they
conversation.
really just don't know. Like maybe
I
nobody
probably
has
won't.
told them. Brittany, well, you tell me and I tell them. You know I tell them.
Yeah,
No, you don't know them. You don't know
Nah,
them.
they need that. Listen, they need
And
to have
I'm
some
just giving a
self-awareness.
scenario to y'all.
They
I'm
need to
not
have some
talking about
self-awareness. If somebody don't want to have no eye contact with you and they keep moving when you talk, you need to have some self-awareness and realize your breath stink.
Or they
If
keep
every time you
offering
talk,
gum.
you try to get close to them, they like, yeah, every time you try to whisper a secret to them,
Well,
they like,
they
you know what I mean? They, nah, your breath stink. You gotta do something
I'm gonna
about
tell y'all. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something basic that y'all can do is just floss. Like a lot of people don't floss.
Well, Lapeef, let me share though. In all seriousness, I had a girlfriend many years ago, and she never had bad breath. And I remember out of the blue, her breath just became horrible, and like it was making her insecure. She smelled it, all of that. She found out she had a tonsil issue, like she had tonsil stones or something, and that. In all seriousness, if somebody is suffering from bad breath and they've been to the dentist and the dentist is like, no, you don't have halitosis, you're flossing, you're eating healthy, but your breath still smells bad, you might have a tonsil issue. And she had to get her tonsils removed because it was just chronic. The little white, I guess they're like little white
tonsil stones.
Oh yeah,
and they smell horrible. Because me and her were really close, you know what I mean? And like she was like, see, and I'm like, wow, like, yeah. So you might want to go. I'm laughing about it, but it's not funny. Go see an ENT if you're eating right, you know, if you're drinking water and you're flossing and you've gone to the dentist, it might be
Sugar. That's what I'm gonna say next time. I'll be like,
man, I'm trying to figure this out.
You know, this is a PSA for anybody out there that needs to hear it. If you know you're suffering from bad breath,
you hear all this, but you call me. But listen, how y'all talk to these people. Tell me, tell me,
we're helping the
and I
people. We're helping the people.
Yeah, I am
helping
too.
them.
But
Carry,
you call me
last
mean.
thing I'll say is carry some mints and some gum, because it's always the ones with the breath that stink that don't ever have mints or gum.
Yeah,
How
but
y'all
that's not
know
getting
you
to
know your breath
the root of the
Traumatized
problem.
by this situation. I
That's
said,
not
yeah,
getting to the root of the
it's
problem.
coming out.
It's like a band-aid.
That man told you your breath stinky. You ain't been right since.
I'm off my soapbox, y'all.
Man,
I just really
if
need
you
to know
gotta
that was
get-
a deal breaker.
If you gotta put on a COVID mask to get some cheeks, man, you already know you in trouble, bro.
But no, man, y'all, you gotta tell somebody if they breath stink though, man. You bogus if you know the motherfucker, if you know the person's breath stink, and you don't say, "Hey, everything okay?"
Hey, sometimes people hormones change too. Like when you get older, people's hormones
Yeah.
change, and they may not necessarily have had an odor, but now they got an odor. Sometimes the odor could be coming from their chest. Sometimes, sometimes you know when they chest.
What?
It's from the bottom
Hey,
of
I
their
tell you,
lung.
I'll tell you the worst kind. When they got that goddamn blow by wind, when they walk by, you smell them motherfuckers, man, that's the worst. God damn.
Like, damn,
Girl,
Sammy.
what's wrong with you?
Oh
Just
my
had
God.
somebody up at elementary school named Sammy. It was Sammy and Tobias, man. Two brothers, man. They was less fortunate, but they stank though.
Hey, it's a video floating around on Instagram. Everybody, it's people on the plane. You see everybody with their nose covered. You hear this Indian guy like, "Whoever is farting, please stop. It stinks really bad." The whole plane got their nose covered, and I was crying.
What?
Hey man, it just
What
goes
if
back
the
to
passenger
diet,
was
man.
nervous? What if the passenger was nervous as soon as they got on the plane? They got the NG.
My friend, please stop farting. Oh man, that shit was so funny, man. But yeah, get your body in order.
Boy, y'all, wow.
Hey, so Brittany, how long have you been talking to Hot Breath?
It's
Not
just
Cheeto
a
breath.
general.
Oh,
It's
man.
just a general question. Okay.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Brittany, have that talk with him. Please.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
you
man, that's
mad about the little
Don't
Kayla.
suffer
We
through
know you
that.
mad about
Don't
the little
suffer through
Kayla.
It's not okay.
Offer him some gum.
Yeah,
Very
he
often.
he could get that fixed. You know,
Man,
just let
that
him
hot
know.
breath is going to melt that gum.
Oh my God. Okay.
Offer him like
man.
4 Altoids. He'll get the message.
Hey, all right. So I did miss some of it. I did come in on the part where I guess where are we saying that we shouldn't feel butterflies or something with a person that you're dating or interested in?
It's not that
Ash
you
said.
shouldn't. That just shouldn't be like your deciding factor on whether you continue with somebody.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I agree with that. Yeah, but to the Ocho point though, I really don't think that, again, this guy that's been playing football for 20 plus years, he's been exposed to all types of different women. He all of a sudden he has these blinders up for this one chick. So I would want to give him the benefit of the doubt of knowing what he's getting himself into, and or it all just being for show. But I mean, this what, he 50, late 40s. I don't think he gonna go out bad like that at this age.
I wanted to answer your question, Viz. My bad. I was hearing the feedback. Butterflies could be a sign, like a warning sign, right? And from my own experience, like I was doing like a lot of research. Every person that I got butterflies for wound up being a horrible ass person for me. Yeah, I had like this intense connection with them, but later on down the line, those was like the people that kind of did me the worst. So I don't, like I said, I don't feel like you like instantly like having this connection with a random ass person that you don't know is like always a good sign. Sometimes, like I said, it could be like a warning sign. And I'm a spiritual person. I heard Aisha speaking about chakras and stuff like that. So a lot of times people don't be tapped into that. And then when you're not tapped into who said what? I can't even see you.
No, you go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that was
big.
Okay. Yeah, so that could be a warning sign, especially when you're not really like tapped in on your spiritual side. Sometimes you can feel stuff in certain parts of your body. You'll think that, oh yeah, this is a good sign, but it could be a warning sign, like letting you like this person ain't for you.
I don't know.
Ash, how you spell chakras? How you spell it? Look it
C-A.
up. Is it start with a C?
It starts with a
C-H-A.
Why you ask me that?
I was about to look it up.
C-H-A
K-A-R-A-S.
Energy. Damn. You got to mute up.
Yeah, that's
chakras are energy. I can't do it.
Yeah.
There we go. My bad.
It's right. It's basically like your vibration levels, basically, right? You got your lower level, which is like the reds, which where a lot of people operate out of, which is lust. That's your sexual energy is the lowest vibration you can operate out of, which is a lot of people are at, and they kind of attract people on that same type of vibration level as them. And then when he was basically saying that lust isn't something. What did you say?
I'm just saying what people are usually referring to as lust. Could just be a different form of love. Just eros, sexual love.
No, I don't feel like lust and love I don't feel like lust is love at all. I feel like lust is a form of like, right? Because you can, or feeling, right? Like your feelings always change. It's not something that lasts for a long time. That's what I feel like.
But if we're being honest, love is nothing but a release of endorphins in your system, right? Love is temporary. Real love comes from the action of committing to something and deciding that you want to stay committed to a person. You don't have that feeling long term every day with that person, or even down the years. That is going to change. So I kind of agree with Clout to a certain degree. It goes in degrees, right? Like you like a person, then you're lusting after them because you're attracted to that person, and that can turn into love, and then that love turns into the commitment. And commitment is where you're trying to go. There's never just a constant, I'm in love with them and I always feel this way. No, it's not realistic. And I feel like that's another reason why a lot of people don't stay married, because they expect that feeling on a consistent basis. When you have to understand it's a commitment after that. You have to choose to be with that person. I also had a question I wanted to pose to the guys, because I feel like on this conversation of lust and love and how we're talking about it, especially the way that Aria and like Brittany brought up, that I feel like that's very much so from a woman's perspective, right? Women are known to fall later in love with someone. We can look at a man and not be attracted in the beginning, but learn to be attracted to them because of all of these other qualities that come into place. But from my experience, men need that instant connection. They need to be attracted to you. You can have everything else that's marked off, but if they're not attracted to you, it's not going to work long term. They will cheat. They will go look for something else that they are attracted to. They need that full package. Not only a woman that's beautiful, but also has those other qualities. Is that true? And I'm specifically talking to the guys. Is that true for you guys? Or can you fall in love with someone that you're not initially attracted to?
No, I mean, I think the whole package has to be there. I think there's a level of attractionness, and then there's also a level of attraction to their personality, what I'm saying, their spirit, everything else, right? It just, when you have conversations with them, it feels effortless. And when you get into it, it feels like you've been talking to them or known them your whole life. That kind of like instant flow, people solemnly don't run across it that very often. and this is why I say I find today more often than not a lot of women who are sexually attractive but not necessarily relationship attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes what a lot of ladies forget is that the two are not the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's not that'll pull them there, but that'll never keep them there because there's something else always missing, and that is also the soft skills, the personality. You know what I'm saying? Knowing how to show up for somebody, and I think that a lot of people are not shown those or taught those from a very young age and put in different scenarios where they're cultured and taught that once they get to adulthood, they look at everybody else who are doing the complete opposite as weird. But in reality, those are the simple functions that people need from their partner.
Yeah, I think that to the love and lust point too, I think that it's the same thing. It's the same exact emotion. It's the same exact feeling. And you can feel that for anything. You can be lustful over achieving success. You can be lustful for a car, a woman, a job, a position. You can lust over any of these things, in which I think the only difference is the person looking at it from the outside in. Because while you're in that position, you feel that you're in love. This woman is amazing, and somebody could say, "Oh man, Viz, you simping, you lusting after her." And this, no, nigga, I'm in love. I'm head over heels for this broad. Her breath don't stink, and she on point. You know what I'm saying? This the one. So I think that we make it more difficult in what the actual feeling and emotion is, because we get caught up in the wordplay of it all. But yeah, no, to Ty's point, I think that you absolutely have to, that men at least, they want to be attracted to the person that they are going to deal with. Because if I am going to be in a committed relationship with you, you got to check these boxes, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that I'm here and I don't want to go nowhere else. So I think that it is absolutely imperative for sure.
What he's talking about right now is something that which in a book that I suggest every man should read, which is The Polygamous Sex by Esther Vilar. And she talks about this in The Polygamous Sex. She essentially explains that the reason why most men live a polygamous lifestyle is because in order to experience love, a romantic type of love that's sexually fulfilling, they need a partner that's equal to them but opposite. But in order to feel familial love, it requires someone who's not equal to them, someone that they can take care of. So men are constantly in a battle between those two desires, having someone that they can take care of with their love, and having someone who's an equal sexual partner.
You want to go, Hank? You know what the question is?
A certain individual say we're not going to be honest. That's what she said. We're not going to be honest.
I still stand 10 toes down with that. I don't feel like that.
But go with your question again. I want you to ask your question again.
My
question
was from what I was hearing the ladies say, as far as building a connection with a person, right? Like going after someone you're compatible with and then later on falling in love. I said, I feel like that's something that women can do, but that's not necessarily true for men. My question posed was, do men need to have that attraction first? Because that's what I grew up understanding, is that a man needs to be attracted to the woman that he's with. He can't gain that later. If he's not instantly attracted to her, he's not going to get it later, no matter how good she is. Or is that wrong? Can you grow attraction to a woman later once you find out she has all of these other qualities that maybe fit into what you think is wife material?
Yeah, I think we can. A lot of men do it on a regular now. Look, I I don't know if you ever looked at some of these NFL players' wives. They don't look like the IG models as most of y'all would think they are. They not. They look like average looking women. But you know what they fell in love with? The personality. What they provide. They brought some type of peace to the relationship. That they not always, the best look, don't not built the best, don't maybe what we consider attractive enough for a man who's making that type of money, but yet they will find a way to figure it out and fall in love with them and marry these women.
Hey, don't forget that they were passing them the ball in the gym.
Hey, when they was working out with them, when they was watching them come up, when they was, making sure they got their studies in, what I'm saying? Make sure the papers was done while they was on the road, fulfilling their sports obligation. Look, men look, there's always something attractive about it. And it might be a smile. She may not be what you consider aesthetically pleasing, another man wouldn't, but she has a beautiful smile. She has a great personality. She made me laugh. And that right there could hold a man's attraction right then and there. Her conversation piece is good. You know what I'm saying? She knows how to hold a conversation. I mean, you get one of the most beautiful women in the world, but she don't hold my attention other than looking at her ass. And that's only, y'all know what I mean. 20 goddamn minutes is all you're going to get out of my life. But it's a different conversation. I'll leave it there. Is that honest?
Yes, that's very honest. I'm so happy you was honest. So that's why I was just like, the answers that I was hearing was not the reality of what it really is. And Hank really hit it on the head with everything that he said. Because what I see is most men are married to average looking women. And then, right, you will see them, not all of them, because I don't believe all men cheat. Some of them will mostly go out and cheat with the IG women or whatever, like the nice bodies and stuff like that. But they're not wifing that up because you can always walk outside and see another fat ass or a nice body or another woman that looks better, or that's a dime a dozen. But like he said, having a woman that's shooting, in the gym, shooting from the sidelines with you, that's motivating you and stuff, you're not finding that too often. Or somebody who actually genuinely makes you happy, makes you smile, want to see you win, or not just being an asset. I mean, not just being a liability, but an asset. So you don't meet women like that too often. So when I see men that are married, there is just a regular average woman. So I don't feel like it's necessarily oh, she got to be the sexiest woman or whatever. The attraction is other. It comes in other forms, not just the looks, because the looks it fades afterwards. It's all right,
You're the only one that brought up looks, because I feel that in both me and Clout's answer, we're not saying that the looks is the main attraction, because you can go outside and see a good, just like you said, you can go outside and see a good looking woman anywhere, a fat ass, some titty. You can see that anywhere. I can go on Instagram and see that. That doesn't move men that are intentionally dating or looking for someone that they want to spend time with. If they look like an IG model and they check all the other boxes, bet that's a go-to. But if I can find me a plain Jane that's bad, she treat me good, she got that wet, it's a win-win. I don't need thick Taco 86 on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I can get me in the library, Miss Cox or something. I don't know. You can easily find something like that where you'll build that connection and that relationship with them, and fall in love with them, and they can be the average Joe. I mean, average Jane rather. Most men would almost prefer that. They prefer a woman that's average, that's not all out in the open, because then, to Louise's point earlier, you'll expect for her to be in that bracket. So now I'm expecting for you to act and treat me a certain type of way, and be on social media acting a certain type of way. Most men that know what they want, they don't want to deal with that. So
yeah.
And I think there was confusion in my question. It wasn't, does she have to be the baddest woman or have the baddest body? I said, do you have to be initially attracted to her? Whether it is her smile or whatever else. I feel like, and then you guys keep saying average as if average doesn't also mean attractive. You can be average and attractive. You don't have to be, like Via said, a IG model or have the most banging body. I'm just saying, do you have to see the person and be like, oh, she's cute, I like her? Or like some women will date a man that they have no attraction to, but because of everything else he brings to the table, they will learn to deal and love that man.
So it's
not men.
all it's all situational. I mean, as long as she's not ugly, she got a shot. She got a chance. You know, it's a small percentage that y'all might just be out at a work Christmas party or something, and you wind up talking with somebody that's ugly, and then be like, oh, you know, she was pretty cool. But I don't think that's what they're going for. So as long as she's not but ugly, I think that she has a shot, an opportunity for that person to interact with her in a way where they're getting it to know.
I feel as though dudes gotta be entirely attracted to the girl to fall in love, like what we traditionally would call being in love, like passionate. You got to be attracted to her from the jump. I think that guys can grow into comfort, and like I think men settle a lot. I think we settle a lot because we're willing to, like, we don't need to have all our boxes checked. We'll settle with what works and what's comfortable for the time being. But if you're talking about being head over heels in love, you got to be attracted to her. Like, I don't think any dude is falling head over heels in love for a woman he's not attracted to. Anytime you hear a man talk about being head over heels in love with a woman, is someone that he's attracted to. And that's not saying that she's quote unquote the baddest by, you know, arbitrary standards, but that's just saying to him, she drives him passionately wild. When he sees her, he wants her. When he sees her, you get what I'm saying? Like, she makes him like nervous sweat, whatever, because he wants her that bad. I feel like you don't grow into that. It's either it's there or it's not.
So
I definitely agree with that. I do feel like men settle a lot when it comes to like picking their mate. And the ones who are typically head over heels for their women are typically the ones that be a little crazy to me. Those be the ones that typically fall in love with
you got a lot of shit going over there.
You said what?
So you got a lot of shit going on.
No, that's what I just think. I feel like a man who's like head over heels for a woman, like as soon as he see her, like, oh shit, she like super, like she's kind of like super, he's super attracted to her. Those the ones that normally be like super head over her, or head over heels for her, kind of on the borderline a little crazy over her.
Yeah,
Like,
but what you're explaining is not your typical man. You're talking about a man who doesn't attract many women. You're talking about a man who doesn't attract many women. That's exactly what you're really talking about. You're talking about a guy like, wow, this is my first dime. I'm going to cherish this like it's the last piece of Coca-Cola on earth. That's really what you're really talking about. That level of reception, yeah, I'm getting a major echo.
Yeah, that's
that level of
your
reception.
Your ash has to be
is not healthy.
You got it linked up against the table or something. The mic.
no, my thing was going on and off. That's why. But only when I'm unmute.
No, man.
Your volume might be too loud, so your microphone is picking up feedback.
Can I add something to the conversation?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be a nerd for a second because I'm always a nerd. But there are phases to love. There are phases to partnership, and it's really, really well researched. Like as Ty was saying, you know, it's hormones, it's hormonal, it matters. But when you start that attraction phase, that's dopamine. we're all addicted to dopamine. We all have that, like, I need this instant gratification. Addiction is dopamine, scrolling is dopamine, like all the stuff that we do just because it feels good. That's your initial attraction phase. The second phase that I was talking about earlier is limerence, and that's that one is norepinephrine and phenylalanine, and like essentially it's like your stress hormones. And so that's the limerence phase where you're obsessed with that person. And that's the phase that people chase a lot of the time. So that's why someone else was saying, like, you know, people want that initial feeling, and so then they'll leave, find it with somebody else, but then it wears off, and then they'll leave, find it with somebody else. Interestingly enough, limerence for women shows up right around 1 to 2 months mark, and it lasts for both genders about a year. For women, it shows up about the 1 to 2 month mark. For men, it shows up around the like 5 to 7 month mark. Like, why do we think that is? So he sticks around for the baby, right? And so like that's when that limerence phase is. It's biological. Following that, you have the partnership phase. You've got the love phase, and the limerence phase has to wear off because those hormones are not compatible. You can't have the limerence hormones and the partnership hormones together. You can't, like, it just don't work in your body. But the partnership hormones are oxytocin, vasopressin, prolactin. So I think just from that neurobiological standpoint, it comes back to planning for what you want in your partner, knowing you're not going to be lusting after your partner forever. You're not going to feel obsessed with your partner forever. Yes, you should be attracted. You should still have a little bit of that dopamine, but you should not be releasing norepinephrine. You should not be essentially putting your brain on speed for that person all the time. And if you are, there's a problem. So no, it's not settling because that part wears off. It's supposed to. But, you know, too many of us are focusing on that piece. We're focusing on how we feel right in this moment. And I want that instant gratification. We're not focusing on the long-term impact that's going to have on our life.
Mm-hmm. Aria, let me ask you a quick question.
See, but go ahead.
Yeah. So obviously, you know, the topic of hormones and sort of how people engage with the opposite sex has been brought up multiple times this evening. And sort of one of the things that I wonder is that does the inception of birth control and women using that, and then, you know, having a completely different a sense of attraction for a man when they're on it versus when they're not on it is completely different. Because I have heard stories and I have read stories about this sort of phenomenon.
That does happen, and honestly, a lot of medications do it. So medications, hormone changes, like life progression, a lot of that can do it, and a lot of that does matter. It doesn't necessarily matter for the oxytocin and vasopressin stage, which is like, and prolactin stage, which is like later. So with regard to who I'm initially attracted to, it can matter because essentially when you're taking a birth control, your body is halfway, because not both hormones, but halfway fooled into thinking that you're already pregnant. And so in that case, the woman is going to experience some of those limerence feelings a little bit earlier than she would have otherwise. But it doesn't necessarily matter for like the long-term piece. And I think as long as we, as, you know, either gender, either, you know, party can recognize that those initial feelings are not the feelings that are going to stick around forever, and maybe we should be thinking a little bit more critically, it shouldn't matter for the long-term partnership piece.
Yeah. Let's go back to what Ty had said earlier with and I find that very interesting that women will date men that they're not attracted to. That to me that sounds crazy as hell, as if you're literally setting the relationship up for failure. Because why are you pursuing a man that you're not attracted to if you guys are intimate and having sex? That faucet not going to be turned all the way on. So it's kind of like, you know, why
they don't care about sex. They want utility.
You can't be disgusted. You can't be disgusted by that.
They want a good slave
Let me try to answer this since it was my question. That's because every woman is not attracted or doesn't get turned on by the same things, right? So there are women that are turned on by how a man looks. Like your attraction makes me want you. There are some women that are turned on by your money, what you can provide to them. So maybe you don't look like much at all, but you can provide the lifestyle that I want. You have the right cars, you have the right house, you can take care of me, you can build this lifestyle that I'm going for. So I'm attracted to that. I can care less about really how you look, but I know even if my kids come out ugly, whatever, they're gonna be taken care of. So I just think it's different. Women have a different approach, especially depending on the woman. They have a different approach to love and dealing with men. It doesn't always have to be attraction. There are beautiful women that date ghastly men, but that's because they provide a lifestyle for them. That they want.
Utility.
Do y'all know, like, who's the number one person in your life that you're going to have an affair with? It's almost always, it's not almost always, I guess 40% of the time, but either way, it's a coworker. Yeah. And so, like, if you're not disgusted by the person, this person seems like a good fit, you're thinking logically. We know from the research and from personal experiences that attraction does grow over time. If you respect a person, if you like a person, if there's things that you like about a person, the more time you spend with somebody, the more that attraction grows. And that's why we think we're in love with our coworkers when we're not.
I would argue it's not about the time, and I would argue it's the fact because, like I said in Esther Vila's book, she said it's about finding someone who's equal and opposite. And when you're working with someone as a coworker, you're both in an equal position in that company. So you're more likely to find love with that person because you can see them as an equal, not necessarily because of the time spent.
Yeah, and it can be the contrast of what it is that you have at home.
I mean, why can't it be a little bit of both? Because when I left a job, I was like, damn, you seen a picture, you ain't seen him in a while, like, that motherfucker ugly as hell.
There's a psychologist, Ken Page, he talks a lot about it. He talks about like the research on attraction growing over time and with familiarity and why. And I definitely recommend his book too.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's I feel like that's kind of the obvious, but the concerning part is that women are getting into relationships with men that they're not attracted to.
Ladies.
Go ahead, Ash. I'll chime in after you.
Oh.
I want to say to kind of, what's her name? Aria, piggyback off her. For me, I typically like guys who I consider medium ugly, only because they normally they have like better personalities. They are funny, and they don't always like lead with their looks, right?
Have less options easier to control.
No,
please don't talk about
it is not, because it's not that at all. Sometimes they just have better personalities, and I am both demi and sapiosexual, right? So I'm not just my attraction doesn't come from just looking at a person like, oh my god, I'm not attracted to them. I have to have a conversation with them and kind of see how their mind works, and then that's when my attraction comes for them. But I typically find stuff that I'm attracted to them, like they smile, or he's funny, or I like the way he dressed, or I like his work ethic. That's the stuff that normally makes I'm serious. That's the stuff that normally makes me be attracted to them long term. But the people that, for me, when I see them and they're kind of like face value cute, and I get to know them, I'm like, I'm not attracted to this person. Like he whack, or he's stupid, or it's something about him I don't like. So like I rather gain my attraction from like getting to know them. And it's typically medium ugly guys, because they know how to, they be having dope ass personalities.
They've been to your will.
Hey.
They don't go to my will at all.
I've never really understood the medium ugly thing.
Ashley is legitimately, let's just all agree to this now. Ashley is toxic as hell. You this entire segment, the last 3 hours, you toxic as hell.
I'm not toxic. I'm real to myself.
That's like when dudes say, I like dating broke girls because I like girls that's medium broke because they just more impressed with everything you do. It's like the same thing.
Medium ugly guys be funny as shit. Women love funny men. They be having way more women on them than the guys who look good, and they be well established and stuff. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have had a personal experiences with it lately because knowing that the people I'm instantly attracted to Ashley's point, right, are usually the people that are not healthy for me. I've been trying to expand who I'll say yes to, like with regard to giving it a try, right? Like going on a date, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like saying like, okay, yeah, maybe he doesn't look exactly how I wish, but he seems nice.
You know what that comes from. I think I wanted to chime in after Ash. So I think to answer your question, I think when women go through enough traumatic experiences, they start reflecting on what they want and what they don't want, right? They're not just thinking about, oh, is he fine and blah, blah, blah. So for example, a woman might say she wants someone who's financially stable, emotionally healthy, emotionally available, just to name a few examples. So if she meets a guy who's not necessarily attractive or she doesn't feel those butterflies right away, but he aligns with all of those other things that she has as requirements, then she's going to give it a try. Because why? Whenever she tried the other guys in the past who did not necessarily align with those things off top, but they gave her butterflies, it failed. Like it caused problems. So she's trying to avoid going through that. At least if she's matured, she's trying to avoid going through that, and she's going to keep an open mind. Like Aria was saying, let me go on a date. Let me give it a try. Let me see what can come of this, because he's aligning with what I want. You know what I mean?
It's
I
the same.
want to get rid of that feeling though.
It's the same
I have a
dude
question
to
for the
say
ladies real
that.
quick.
Okay.
How are the medium ugly dudes when it comes to fixing smoke detectors?
Well, I'm not dating anybody to bring somebody in my house to fix it. And if you was on here the last time we actually fixed it, I don't know what's going on with it, but it's good. As long as it's working, I'm good.
As long as it's working.
That beeping means it's not working like it's supposed to, though, Ash. That's what that means.
You cannot.
I'm saying if you fixed it, it wouldn't be beeping.
Yeah, it just
You
shows
might
you,
have to
man.
get to go all the way ugly, nigga.
She got a lot going on over there.
No, I'm not anybody, so it's good. It's cool.
On mute. You got a lot going on there between the smoke detectors and his phone. Like, this is what men do, man. They troubleshoot. I could not sleep in that house with all them things going off. And the fact that the first time I asked you, I said, the first time we talked, I said, that smoke detector? You said, I don't hear anything. And then it beeped. You said, oh, damn. Happens every single time.
I promise you, I only hear the smoke detector when I come on here and y'all pointing that shit out.
God.
That means it's been that way a long time.
Ashley, you toxic as hell. You toxic as hell.
That's like when you live next to a train.
She dumb as hell. She don't feel shit.
What train?
Yo,
the train.
You gotta get off that Cricket Wireless, man. I think it's the antenna from our routers that are kind of triggering that beeping sound.
Waste your time, so look, this card, the salt shaker, right?
Yeah, that's a peculiar build there.
So look, this card.
I'm digging that though.
All right, you like the salt shaker? 1 to 10, how was that?
You put slits in the leggings?
Nah, they came like that. I got this from.
They ain't tearing, is they?
No, I got it from Rainbow. So look,
that's not a Nike thing.
No. So look,
you know Nike be doing elite shit like that. They got like an
so
elite.
Look, I call this the tornado, right?
Yeah, let me see that.
You like how it's moving?
That shit jiggling.
It's jiggling, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So look,
let me see the other one.
You want to see the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that motherfucker going crazy, ain't it? That motherfucker going stupid, ain't it?
Nah, don't bend that ass over.
That motherfucker going stupid, right?
Nah, don't do that. Don't bend finna be a turd fall up out of there. You don't be careful. Yeah, that shit be jiggling. You be sitting it up on the sink?
Yep, I sure do.
Yeah, I like when girls be sending me pictures of that ass sitting up on the sink. I like that. You can sit it on the table right here like that. Just mount it. You can mount it right here. That sink.
Oh, yeah,
Put it
okay.
on the sink.
It's moving, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's moving.
You mount it like that. Yeah, no, that's perfect. She got back dimples too. All right, bet. Let's get it. Let's top it up.
That was uncomfortable.
Hey man, I got more curves in my hands than that heifer had in her ass. What you doing, man?
Her pants was fighting stand up.
She was shaking that white girl backside. God damn.
I thought if she bent too far over, her back was going
Man,
like
she was medium well done, man. That's what it was.
Big Mama. Big Bama, I'm sorry. 44-999 says shout out to Big Dog, Viz, Cloud, Luis, and the short kind Ty. Rest of the panel, let's have a moment of silence for our smoke detectors before Ash once goes off. $3 super sticker from Brown New. Thank you, Sir Shy. Jay, I don't think Rail getting that money from Ocho. Okay, talking about Rail. Mr. Voda, $50. I don't know where you're from, but thank you, Ash. You still haven't found a man to fix the alarm. Everybody hears it, Ash. Everybody hears it. Gina just came
You have to
in.
get on thumbtack or something.
So you pick a man because he fit all those other qualities, but you don't get motivated and sexually pleasing him. That's crazy. He could keep his money.
She a freak.
All right. So we'll go ahead and close out, man. I see some of y'all motor mouths are ready to be at it again. I saw y'all formulating the syllables. We can go ahead and end it, man. Let's see. Brittany eyes and got a little chinky. Aisha eyes got a little chinky. All that texting. A lot going on.
Hey, Aisha had too many of them glasses of wine. That's what called them chinky eyes.
She been floating all night, swimming.
Yeah.
Man, she needs a couple glasses just to be able to get through the show.
Yeah. Let's relax. We got somebody else came, Mr. Travolta. 25. Men complicate this. Women like money. Every other explanation is ego. Money wins every time. If Drake slides in your girl's DMs, you sure she won't fold?
Damn.
More than money, women like to not do stuff. I'm telling you. And a guy who helps them to not do stuff is a dream come true to them. They love not doing stuff. Promise you. That's the only reason they like money, because money helps them to not do stuff.
I also think that a lot of your decisions come with maturity as well. You know, I think when you get a little bit older, that beauty don't be meaning nothing. You know, you got some demons inside. You got some people that got demons inside of them, man. And you gotta switch it up. You definitely gotta switch it up, man. I think you start to focus a little bit more on what's on the inside, like King said, what's between their head, because beauty only gets you so far. Beauty only gets you so far. When you are older, I think a lot of men like peace. They don't want to wake up and feel like it's work every time you wake up. A relationship is supposed to be natural. It's supposed to have natural thoughts and natural feelings and move how you gonna move. You're not supposed to. Yeah, we can tell you got you a new Christmas toy. You've been lying to my
OBS, man.
Man, Cloud was the first one up here today. I'm like, God, they couldn't wait to unleash these gems, man.
Had a little fun.
Yeah, but substance matter, man. So just make sure y'all work on y'all inside as much as y'all work on y'all outside, because that's what matters, man. For people that are looking to spend the rest of their lives with someone, a companion.
Work on your
Gina
inside.
789 $2 says, I'm not freaky. Okay, I'm freaky with the one I admire. Okay.
That means she freaky.
Hit the like button. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Catch you on the next one. We out, man.